A very good afternoon and welcome to VFL Park for Pro Football's match of the day between Melbourne and Fitzroy. Melbourne kicking with the aid of a slight breeze towards the big scoreboard end, and the umpire has found an infringement. The fight's on the centre wing already. The umpire's coming in and trying to pull the players apart. Wilson, the Brownlow medalist of Melbourne, in there wrestling his player to the ground. Same start as last week for the Demons, who started the action with a brawl at Moorabbin last week, which lasted for a couple of minutes before the game actually got going. Brian Wilson and Jamie Cooper still having words. A fairly inauspicious start to the game between Fitzroy, who are lying just outside the 5. They're equal fourth on points, along with Essendon, Footscray and North Melbourne. A fiery start to the match here at VFL Park, if in fact we could call it a start. The umpire will try again. Back to the centre, it's David Allday versus Paul Tilley. Allday in the long sleeves with the beard for Melbourne gets the tap down. Fitzroy intercept through Clayton. Short pass marked out there, and it's taken by Michael O'Sullivan. Quickly away on the left foot. O'Sullivan's high drop punt. He was looking for Fidge. Fidge over the back of the pack. Didn't quite make him. Coming in there was Newport hard. The umpire will come in and bounce right on the 50-metre line. A very poor crowd out here at VFL Park. Cool conditions. The slight breeze favouring, if anyone, Melbourne, who are captained today by dual Brownlow medalist Peter Moore. Tapped down then by Lyon, whose dad during the week won the soccer pools, which was nice. Billy Loken in there. Can't quite hold onto the ball. Tangle of players. Number 50, Brett Lovett, in the senior side this week. One of a number of changes Melbourne made. Ball down again. Allday wrestling. Gets the tap down. And Fitzroy into attack for the first time. The whistle's gone. Be a free kick down the field, taken by the old-timer himself, Bernie Quinlan. My co-commentator here at VFL Park this afternoon is Fitzroy defender and veteran, I suppose, Laurie Serafini. Good afternoon, Laurie.
Good afternoon, Stephen. How are you?
Not bad. More to the point, how are you?
Mate, I'd rather be out there playing, but the body's letting me down a bit, so we better watch the boys. Hope they do well.
Be a Melbourne free kick right down there in the last line of defence. The pass looking for Newport. Intercepted then by Conlon. Conlon forces the ball over the line, some 25 metres out. And of course the Lions without Matt Rendell today, it's a major blow. The fight down here right in front of us, and it started some time ago. Wilson and
looks like Jamie Cooper.
Yes. A fiery start to the game. Alan Jarrott there just suggesting that Scotty Clayton might keep his distance. The umpire's in there trying to cool things down. Wilson in for some attention last week against St Kilda, got flattened very early on and had to be helped from the field. But he and Jamie Cooper have had plenty to say in the first 3 minutes of this match here at VFL Park.
I don't know the game plans. I wasn't privy to David's pre-match talk, but it might be that Cooper's tagging Wilson, and of course, if that's the case, they're probably playing very close and maybe upsetting Brian a little bit.
The throw in, forward pocket for Fitzroy. Tap down, here's the chance now. Dropped there by Dean Turner, couldn't quite grab hold of it. Loken with a hand pass across to Clayton, who's been playing exceptionally well. Melbourne through Healy. Wilson with the one-hander. A little bit more attention. I should think words would have been exchanged there. The Brownlow medalist gets it across to Stephen Stretch. Stretch with the pass. And not a bad-looking pass either. And he finds Withers. One of 5 interchange players Melbourne named. He finally got into the side, looking for Fidge. Fidge slips at the last moment, at the crucial moment. Coming through then is Tony Campbell. Gets some attention there from Pert. Fidge swings it around. It's a high kick, through for a behind. First score of the match to the Demons. It's taken 4.5 minutes, and they've been 4.5 very hectic minutes indeed. Wait now for Garry Pert, who without a doubt is one of the top 2 or 3 fullbacks in the competition and one of the fastest, and I would think he'd give John Fidge plenty of work today. Newport underneath it. He's nudged out of the way by Loken. Newport comes out with the ball, centres it. It's a good diving mark taken down there by Tony Campbell, and Campbell is a matter of 35 metres out. With the aid of a slight breeze, the distance won't be a problem. A young player in this Melbourne side, and most of them are. Campbell lining up from that line there, the 50-metre line. Playing his 7th senior game. The kick.
It's all right.
Right on. First goal to the Demons. They get away well. 1 goal, 1-7. Fitzroy yet to score. Before the brawl, I was asking you about Matt Rendell. His loss is certainly a bitter blow to the Lions, especially at this time of the year when they're so close to the 5.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. It has come at the wrong time. We've just managed to get into the 5 and hang on, and Matt being the biggest man and the big man getting it out of the middle is so important. Paul Tilley, a young guy, doing very well, but he's only about 6'3", and Matt's about 6'9", so it makes it very hard.
It's Tilley against Allday in the middle. Allday gets the tap again. Wilson gets the ball out well. Melbourne are looking to Wilson to reproduce some of his better form. Didn't play well last week. The ball over the boundary line for the throw-in. 50 metres out from the Demons' goal. They're kicking to the big scoreboard end. Conditions out here at VFL Park. There's been a lot of rain, but the ground in fair condition. They've had the super sopper out there, and it's been chopped up a bit, as you can see. Tilley in the front position. It's Lyon who gets the tap down. Withers underneath. Ball rushed over the boundary line by Mickey Conlon. Will have a throw in about 40 metres out.
Interesting to watch Garry Lyon, number 3 for Melbourne. Young player this year, and has impressed a couple of the so-called experts. Interesting to see how he goes today.
Well, that one was a Fitzroy tap. Wilson going through heavily, using his body well. Goes for goal. Out of bounds on the full. And a Fitzroy free kick. Looking for a lead down there, not much doing.
Dean Turner's been playing back pocket for the last couple of weeks. Usually our wingman. He's been playing well.
High kick, Tilley in the front position. Taken over the back by David Allday. Touched on the way, says the umpire. Or was it?
It looks like it was.
Umpires today, Sidebottom and Carland. Down there, Tilley. Gets the knock away that time. Punched forward. Grant Laurie, a very experienced defender, swings the ball into attack for the Lions. Off the ground. 2 Melbourne players here. They're in the front position. Bernie Quinlan comes out. Let's see if the old veteran can get through these 2 Melbourne defenders. He'll put plenty of pressure on. The old legs aren't as good as they used to be. And I would think Bernie would be quite satisfied with that result. Ball over the boundary line. There he is wandering back. He looked very proppy as he ran onto the ground today. I think the ankles are beginning to tell after some 360 games. Melbourne come out with the ball. The hand pass then by Lovett across to Jarrott. Usually a very good disposer of the ball. Melbourne ball through Wilson. Wilson will look for the pass. It's an excellent pass. Here's the chance. The loose man coming through is Cole. Cole with a long hand pass to Johnny Fidge. Melbourne's second goal on the board. 8 minutes into the quarter. Melbourne 2 goals, 1-13. Fitzroy yet to score. And Laurie, a very poor start for Fitzroy.
Very poor. Excellent play by Brian Wilson then to set up the play. Excellent disposal. And a handball over the top, and easy goal by Fidge, straight into the goal square and through. Makes it hard for defenders when the ball comes down so easily. You've got a prop, you're not too sure whether you go out and meet the opponent or stay with your own opponent, and it's dispiriting. Good start by Melbourne. Be a good game. Melbourne and Fitzroy games in the past have always been even though probably Fitzroy's performed better over the years. Melbourne seems to play the same run-on game, open game, and it'll be a close tussle today.
Allday and Tilley, the boundary umpire coming over to have a word there to Wilson and to Jamie Cooper, telling them to cool things down. But Wilson has certainly been in the action. He's been all over the place so far. Kicked that last goal and it was a good one. Allday and Tilley. Tilley perhaps that time to Osborne, the danger man for Melbourne. Stretch interfered with, and Stephen Stretch, who copped plenty of attention last week from Jeff Cunningham at St Kilda. Got a pretty hard opponent today there in Doug Barwick. Big fly. Withers can't pick it up. Lions come out with the ball. Mickey Conlon underneath it. Mickey goes for the specky and takes it. It's a good looking mark too. He's off like a shot.
Kick to Craig McGrath. Handball to Richard Osborne. He'll look for Bernie.
Yates gets the ball out. Barwick out here. Here's the danger. He got away from Stretch on that occasion. He lines up from 50 metres. He kicks it high. Quinlan underneath it in the front position. It's tapped down. Yates with the ball. Comes out over to Peter Moore. They want a big game from the acting skipper today. He kicks it out. It couldn't have gone to a worse place. Bill Loken with the ball. Looks for the short pass. Finds Quinlan. Lovely mark. Lovely pass by Billy Loken. The Melbourne players pointing out that the ball might have been touched. But a tumbling mark then by the old veteran.
Excellent play. I dare say Peter Moore, running out of the back line, didn't have enough time to steady, kicked the ball, lifted his eyes and saw it went to 3 Fitzroy players.
Quinlan comes in. Oh, just slides off for a behind. Fitzroy's first score. And the scoreboard shows Melbourne 13, Fitzroy 1. 2 goals the difference. We've been playing 10.5 minutes into this first quarter. It's Yates with the ball, kicks out wide. One-hander by Stretch, good mark. I think he was as surprised as anyone else. Out to the wing position. Fitzroy in the back position, and that's kicked off the ground. Melbourne into attack. They've been into attack for most of the quarter and are looking quite good. The push going against little Mork. Be taken by Greg Healy. Healy's drop punt. Fidge in front. Good mark, John Fidge. And Pert and Lyon having a few words. Graham Hinchin coming in there to try and calm things down. And so too is Alan Jarrett. Silly play then. The Melbourne players should cool down if they want to keep hold of that football.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened then. The mark was taken. Only first couple of minutes of the game, I guess the guys are a little bit tense, trying to assert their superiority. Good mark, though, nevertheless.
Always handy to be in that front position, isn't it?
Good, strong mark, well in front, and held his position very strongly.
John Fidge comes in from about 35 to 40 metres out. He's already kicked one. Marked that down as 2. Melbourne kicked their 3rd. They move to 3-1-19. Fitzroy 1 behind. 3 goals the difference. 12 minutes in, and the boys still having the odd word to say. Graham Hinchin, a pretty experienced campaigner, and Garry Pert, too good a footballer to be caught up in that sort of stuff.
It's Graham Hinchin's first game after injury. I think he's missed something like 7 or 8 weeks with a very badly corked thigh, so he'll be lacking a bit of match practice. He's on John Fidge, who's sitting in the goal square. Fidge looks to be a couple of inches taller, which might find Graham Hinchin out.
He's got the big spring too. Have you played on him?
No, I haven't. Haven't played on John Fidge, but he looks awfully strong. Sort of, I'm sure he uses his weight very well.
Allday back in the middle against Tilly. Bad bounce. Holding the man then. Surely the free kick will go to Dean Turner. Turner's kick, not a particularly good one, but Osborne right on the spot. Got plenty of pace, this boy on the left foot. It's a long and very penetrating kick. Looking for Mick Conlon, is it? Finding him. Conlon away like a flash. Backs up well, loves the boundary line, runs around, has a go. Looking for McIver. Stretch it is who punches it down. Peter Moore with the ball. Gets the hand pass out. The Demons out of defence, looking good. Oh! And that was Nigel Cole. Bill Loken was the man from Fitzroy. The umpire right on the spot. Nothing more need be said. The play has continued up the field while the Melbourne players getting some medication. We'll pick it up again. Thank you, Chris. The hand pass over from Garry Lyon finds Grinter. Grinter's pass is a good one. Finds Wilson. Melbourne with a chance to kick their 4th goal. Brian Wilson only a matter of 35 metres out. He certainly has been the danger man for Melbourne in this first quarter.
Stephen, it looks already like Melbourne have got a little bit of a better forward system up forward. Already they've gone towards goal a couple of times and have been able to find their men, whereas Fitzroy have gone forward and it's been more or less the lucky dip where you've got to really take a strong mark.
Well, Wilson's right in front. He loves a goal too. The kick, he'll have to wait. That's only a behind, and that's a bad miss to Melbourne. A man of Brian Wilson's experience, he'd be very annoyed at himself for that one. The Demons move to 3-2-20. Fitzroy 1 behind. 14.5 minutes gone. Players bunched in the centre, waiting for the breakaway.
Yes, and it's on over to Mick Conlon, who can run as far as he wishes.
And will.
Yes. Now he should look up forward.
Well, this is quite a run from Conlon. He gets a hand pass across on that occasion to Mitchell, into the side this week. Mitchell looking for Quinlan. Quinlan in the
Good
front
strong
position.
mark.
The Bernie of old would have no trouble with the distance. He decides to play on, go for the pass. Moore gets the tap down. Ruse keeps the ball in play, taps it out cleverly. Scotty Clayton with the ball, swings it back in, centres it. Melbourne player in the front position, and it is Greg Healy. Healy getting away from Leon Harris on that occasion. Over to Nigel Cole. Looks no worse the wear for that bit of a bump around the head, although the kick wasn't a good one. And it'll be out of bounds. Right in front of the interchange booth there, as you can see in the corner of your picture. Players there are Dean Turner, number 14, and Mark Withers, number 15. It was on this ground back in 1979 that Fitzroy kicked a record 36-22, 238, to beat Melbourne by a VFL record 190 points. I can't see it happening today, because Melbourne are full of running and they're looking quite good. Here's a chance now for Withers. Demons get the breakaway. Good tackle then, a very good tackle.
Excellent tackle.
Hinchin having a word to say to Withers. I think he's glad to be back on the field. Turner. Hand pass over there to Tim Pekin. Pekin's short pass finds Scotty McIver. Great player of the future, this fellow. On again to Pekin. Is it Laurie?
No, Tim Pekin. On to Doug Barwick. Good strong mark. Probably 60 metres out of goal. Looking for a pass. No leads forthcoming. Looks to centre it to Bernie Quinlan. Richard Osborne in front.
Good mark taken there by Paul Payne, who last week wore number 43. He's got a promotion. He's got the Biff's old number, Ray Biffin's old number. And it's a lovely pass straight down the ground too to Brian Wilson, who was well and truly caught with a ball. The umpire says play on over to Cole. Gets around Loken. The pass off the side of the boot, or was it?
Yes, it was, but...
Michael O'Sullivan it is who scoops on it. He's 50 metres out. He's right in front. The passes are on everywhere. It's David Allday, the big ruckman. A Crackers Keenan protege. I don't know if David would like to be referred to as that, but...
Same build, you think, Stephen?
I hope he has more luck with the crossword puzzles.
Better looking, I believe.
Aren't they all? David Allday with the big kick in towards goal. It's a good-looking kick. It's another one to the Demons. They're 4-2-26. Fitzroy one behind. And I would think David Parkin would have plenty on his mind after last week's match against Footscray, because this isn't the start the Lions wanted.
Bad start by the Lions. The Demons seemingly allowed to run free at the moment and able to find their teammates short passes and converting very well. Fitzroy going up forward, but not converting as easily.
Been a change down here. They've moved Tim Pekin onto Wilson. Coming out with the ball is Harris. Massive players in there, and the umpire will come in and bounce. Little Mork not too happy about that.
Interesting move by Melbourne. They've got Peter Moore at centre-half back on Craig McGrath. We'll keep our eye on Peter Moore, see his performance.
Tilly coming through as Allday. Perhaps a little bit Allday's way at the moment. The ruck.
Free kick to Scott Clayton.
Scotty Clayton put in a blinder a couple of weeks ago.
Has played 2 good games on the trot.
Over here to Dean Turner. Turner having a fairly impressive first quarter. His kick on the left foot, bit of a floater. Withers, front position. He's caught.
Good tackle.
Pekin. It is a good tackle by Tim Pekin. Ran straight into it. I like Pekin's style of football. Man in front with the ball, and it will be Yates. Yates of Melbourne. Half-back flank. Long drop punt. Big high fly, Allday in front, hard to get round. Pekin has the ball tapped away from him to throw in centre wing position, playing just on 20 minutes in this first quarter, and Melbourne 4-2-26 have kept the Lions goalless. They've kicked one behind to lead by 25 points. Tilly in front, Allday with a tap, a good one down to Grinter, who can't quite pick it up. Barwick off the ground, coming out that time is Lovett. Demons away through Yates. And a good mark. If you play in front, you have to get them. It's Garry Lyon over to Wilson. Wilson got plenty of time. He'll look for the short pass. He's going to Newport. Newport a matter of 35 yards out. Lines up, puts them through. That's the Demons' fifth. They're 5-2, 32. Fitzroy one behind.
It really is a case, Stephen, of Melbourne using the ball and finding their teammates up forward, isn't it?
Well, I saw Melbourne last week. They had no plan up forward with St Kilda. And this week they seem to have everything clicking. Brian Wilson has made all the difference.
Playing very well.
And I see David Parkin has already made the switch there.
We may see, well, in fact, if Wilson keeps playing well, we might see Scott Clayton
and
put onto him.
Unfortunately have to sacrifice a top player to tag.
Yes.
Allday and Tilley. Allday it is who gets the ball out. Healy off the ground. Wilson again in the front position. Has the ball taken away. Ooh, a nasty looking piece of play that. Seem to be able to do it these days. Over to Nigel Cole. He's got pace, the former Geelong player, on the left foot. Looking for Fidge, I should say, and Fidge backs up. Well, here's the chance. He lines up, sends it through. That's his third. Melbourne on fire. They're 6-2, 38. Fitzroy one behind. We've been playing 21 minutes. Good piece of play there by Fidge, and a good piece of play by Cole. Sprinted around that flank looking for John Fidge. Couldn't quite hold it. He doubled back well, picked the ball up, and just angled it through ever so nicely for his third goal and Melbourne's sixth.
Just keep our eye on the centre bounce here. Talking about missing Matt Rendell. Let's just see Allday clearing the ball most of the time for the Demons. If that's the case again, it puts a lot of pressure on the Fitzroy defenders.
He's changed his run-up too this time, Tilley. Got in there a bit faster. He did get the ball down, but unfortunately Healy came out with it. Wilson along the ground there. Jamie Cooper out wide. Conlon in the front position. The little powerhouse. The acting skipper overruns it. They all do. Mitchell, the hand pass over to Hinchin. Dummies the hand pass on the left foot. Goes out wide. The one-hander was on. Fitzroy up forward. Looks like Biff of old, but it in fact is Paul Payne.
Well cleared. Mark to Jamie Turner on the wing. Elects the handball to David Mitchell. Fitzroy. Ball with Scott McIver. Handball to Mick Conlon, it looks like. Mitchell, was it?
Withers. Demons away through Sean White, a great player for them last week. Overrun by everyone on that occasion. Towards the boundary, over on the full. Greg Healy will go in and claim the free kick. Been an impressive start by the Demons. After watching them last week, I didn't think they were at all capable of turning around things like this. Healy with the pass. Two Melbourne players unmarked. It's taken by Tony Campbell. Kicked one goal earlier on. The pass to Wilson. Wilson claims the mark. It's not paid. The umpire right awake to that one, Brian. Comes back though. Tackled. Ball dropped like a hot potato. Paul Tilley gets the ball out towards the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in. About 3 or 4 minutes left in this first quarter, and one that Melbourne fans will remember for a while. They're 6-2, 38. Fitzroy one behind. There's a difference between Tilley and Allday you were talking about, Laurie. Not a lot in height, and a good tap down there by Tilley. Straight to his skipper Conlon. O'Sullivan going through. Ball still in play. O'Sullivan comes out with it. Can he keep it in play? No. Allday 37, Tilley 30 of Fitzroy. Tilley uses his body well then, but can't quite get to the ball. Umpire will come in and bounce. They talking about us there, the world-class Australian in the background?
Might be you, Stephen.
27, Jamie Cooper. Touched off the boot, and we'll have a throw in there in front of the Melbourne dugout.
Probably talking about your antics when you're over covering Wimbledon and things like that.
Tilley and Allday. Allday it is who gets the tap down to Jarrott. Jarrott gets the hand pass out. He's a terrific handballer usually. Kicked straight up in the air then. A good piece of play by Campbell. Fidge underneath it. Can't quite get it. The hand pass was on. Melbourne player kicks for goal. It's 1 point.
Rodney Grinter then under pressure. Goal would have been valuable for Melbourne, but only 1 point.
I think that might be the understatement. The goal then would have been
would have sealed Fitzroy's fate. I think David Parkin will be frothing at the mouth at quarter time.
Dean Turner with the kick out towards the boundary line, and Scotty McIver quite content to run it over. Pro Football Scoreboard, 25 minutes gone. They're into time on in the first quarter. Melbourne 6-3-39, Fitzroy 1 behind. Allday and Tilley again. Got plenty of work to do today. Peter Moore down on the back line. Withers picks it up nicely. Plenty of time to have a good look. His kick up looking for Fidge or Lyon. Tapped away by Pert. Grant Laurie just taps it over the boundary line. Cool and very experienced player. Good to have those sort of guys alongside you down there, isn't it?
Gary Pert and Grant Laurie, both very experienced, both former Victorian representatives.
Throw in. Lyon will take on Tilley. Lyon got in the front position, taps it down to Greg Healy. Lyon comes out with it. He's pushed over the boundary line, and I would think there would be another throw in.
I think all 6 Fitzroy defenders will be scratching their heads at quarter time, wondering where the tornado came from.
I think a few of the crowd will too. Mickey Conlon comes out with it. That's the way, Mickey. On the left foot. Melbourne players underneath it. Sean White on the left foot kicks it high. Here's one for the high flyers.
Grant Laurie in front, the only man that went for it and dropped it.
40 coming out with it's Tony Campbell bouncing towards goal. Will it make it? Tilley just watches it go over, slides over with it and through for a rush behind. 6-4-40 to Melbourne. Fitzroy 1 behind. Gary Pert.
It'll be long to Richard Osborne.
Lovely mark.
Had the sit, selected to play on. Really got no one to kick it to. Finds Tim Pekin.
Big roar from the small crowd here as Grinter tried to stop him from marking that one.
Tim Pekin finding no one to kick it to. Looking for Craig McGrath.
The tap down by Moore over the back then. The umpires come in and found a free kick. It will go to a Melbourne player down here. Sean White indicating that it should go to Stephen Newport, and a 15-metre penalty. No one on the mark. Lax play by Fitzroy. I wouldn't think David Parkin would be too happy with that sort of stuff. Hinchin underneath it tries for the one-hander. Wasn't Hinchin, I should say.
Paul Tilley.
Paul Tilley. Only a matter of a foot the difference. And we'll have a bounce. From our commentary position, we're about 400 yards from the play. It's a long way, isn't it?
All right, it's the first mistake you've made, Stephen.
The bounce. Siren due to go any second. Paul Tilley in the front position. Gary Lyon coming from over the back. Gets the big tap down. Paul Rue's been very quiet so far. Gets the hand pass out to Scotty Clayton. Clayton with a hand pass over to John Blakey. Blakey right around the boundary line. Dummies. Gets the hand pass over to Billy Loken. Back to Blakey. A good run. Tries to keep it in play. Good piece of play then by Blakey. Tap down by Peter Moore. Loken comes out with the ball. Hand pass on again. McGrath. Grinter. Push on to Withers. Good play by Melbourne. They're away again through Cole. Cole goes long looking for John Fidge. Fidge under it. He's kicked 3 already. Melbourne with the ball. Tapped out again. Ruse goes for the boundary line. Will it bounce? It won't. It'll be a free kick to Melbourne. Melbourne free to Withers. Siren due to go any second. The short pass on. Defence a little lax today, as I said earlier. Stephen Newport. Too far out to kick it. 55 metres out, although the breeze might help him today. Torpedo, a long torpedo into the square. Melbourne mark behind, or was there an infringement? He's paying the mark to Gary Lyon.
There may well have been, but...
I thought there was a nudge, didn't you?
Yeah, slight nudge, but gone undetected by the umpire. And Gary Lyon should convert.
Well, as a Fitzroy fullback of long standing, they're the ones that you loathe.
Oh, not much fun.
Gary Lyon puts it through. Great first quarter for the Demons. They move on to 7 goals, 46. Fitzroy, that one solitary behind. The breeze, possibly worth a goal or two, but not all that strong out here at VFL Park. But it's definitely favoured Melbourne in the first quarter.
It was only a matter of 3 or 4 weeks ago that the Lions gave Collingwood 10-goal start. And it's now a 7-goal start to Melbourne, and it's very hard to peg back, even that you're given another 3 quarters of football.
Ball back in the centre of the ground. We've been playing 29 minutes and 50 seconds in this first quarter here at VFL Park. in our pro football match of the day. David Allday done a very good job in the ruck in the first quarter against Paul Tilley. Gets it down again. It's Lovett who kicks it high. He's looking for and find. No, he doesn't find his teammate down there. It's Ruse in there. As I said, a very quiet first quarter. And the free kick will go Fitzroy's way.
To John Blakey? No, to Paul Ruse.
Been a problem at Fitzroy's. No one to kick the ball to. He finds Scott McIver with a hand pass.
Back to Paul Ruse. Long kick to centre half forward, looking for Craig McGrath, who's in front. Ball on the ground.
Tunnel ball there, and Melbourne will come out with the ball through Alan Jarrott. Unmarked Melbourne forward down there. It's Brian Wilson. Can't believe his luck. Long hand pass. The loose man in the square. Lyon goes for the pass. And he's offline. He tried to chip it over. And 1 point to Garry Lyon right on the siren. Melbourne 7 goals 5, 47. Fitzroy 1 behind on the pro football scoreboard at quarter time here at VFL Park. We're about to get underway here at VFL Park between Melbourne and Fitzroy on pro football's match of the day. A bit of pushing and shoving out there on the wing again. It's Jamie Cooper. This time Michael O'Sullivan. The umpire coming in and saying there'll be a free kick.
To Jamie Cooper.
It will go to Jamie Cooper. Second quarter getting underway without a bounce. Stephen Phillips and Laurie Serafini here at VFL Park. Paul Ruse, the short pass. Beats a few players there, but Melbourne finally come out with the ball. O'Sullivan's in the sit. Goes for the high flyer. Can't quite juggle it. Clayton gets a long hand pass out. That's the way to Harris. Harris's left foot kick high. One for the high flyers. Almost a mark there to Sean White, the flying Irishman. And the umpire will come in and bounce.
About 50 yards out from the Fitzroy goal.
David Parkin had plenty to say at quarter time.
Threw his arms around everywhere, didn't he?
Bernie Quinlan. And runs straight into the back of David Allday.
And has received a free kick. And
I thought that was a bit accidental. That he ran, he had his eye on the ball and ran straight into Allday.
I think he did also. Benefit of the doubt there.
Quinlan with his shoulder heavily strapped. That was a result of the match out at Collingwood. I think he fell heavily.
Yes, quite right. 50 metres out. Elects to use the drop punt. It'll land on the edge of the goal square. Punched clear by Peter Moore, I think, and out of bounds.
Melbourne's decision to use Moore as centre half back and let David Allday do the bulk of the rucking has worked quite well, because Allday has done quite well in the ruck. McGrath at that time up against Allday. A wrestle down there. The umpire will come in and bounce.
In fact, I think you may find that Bernie Quinlan is playing centre half forward, and Peter Moore might be his opponent at this stage.
Special comments from Fitzroy defender Laurie Serafini, who's having an afternoon off to enjoy the sun out here at VFL Park.
The wind and cold, more like it.
Allday with a hand pass across to Greg Healy. He's off with a drop punt. Round the wing position looking for Wilson. Ball too high for Wilson, and finally punched over the boundary line for a throw in on Fitzroy's half forward flank, outer side of the ground. The crowd out here quite poor today. I'd say if they had 12 to 14,000 they'd be more than happy. Allday and McGrath. McGrath slips at the vital period. It's little Mork, Leon Harris, who comes out with the ball. His left foot kick finds Sean White in the front position, and White with that right knee heavily bandaged elects to go on the left foot, and a sprawling mark there, almost taken by Nigel Cole. Loken tries to get the ball. It's finally over the boundary line for another throw in. Ball gone round in a complete circle in the last few minutes and thrown in front of the same Coca-Cola sign. Jarrott runs in. Allday not on the spot. Barwick, the long hand pass out, looking for Turner. Good piece of play then by Yates. Taps it towards the boundary line. Nigel Cole with the ball. Kicks it low and long. Finally trickles out in front of a couple of Fitzroy supporters who are wondering just what the hell's going on.
Safe play by Nigel Cole then. Probably had no one else to kick it to upfield and just dribbled along the boundary line for another throw-in.
Allday and McGrath. Allday in the front position. He's been getting in there quite well, and Crackers Keenan, his ruck coach, would be quite happy with the result. Crackers, of course, the greatest ruckman in league history.
Is that right?
In his own opinion. Passing on these little gems of knowledge to people like David Allday. Allday gets the tap down. Greg Healy it is with the ball. Centres it. Bit of a pushing and shoving match. Great chance for Melbourne to go forward again. It's Lyon, can't quite pick it up. Hinchin comes out with the ball. Excellent piece of play over to Tim Pekin. Pekin looking for Conlon. Good mark in front. Melbourne away and running. Withers. Stops. Has a good look around. The leads are on. A couple nice and open. And Stephen Newport with the ball. Kick 1 goal already, Newport, in Melbourne's very good first quarter in which they kicked 7 goals. Newport will put it high. Number of players there electing to punch. Like volleyball. Jarrott underneath it goes for the tap down. Good piece of play to Withers. Can't quite pick it up. Fitzroy come out with the ball through Harris. Beginning to assert some influence on the game. He's kicked back towards the centre of the ground. Some interference then against Fitzroy's McIver, I think.
McIver on to Bernie Quinlan. Bernie under a bit of trouble. Screws it around, centres it. Bill Locum with the ball. Doug Barwick in control.
Well, Barwick hotly pressed in by Peter Moore.
Yes, having trouble picking it up. Richard Osborne on the boundary line. Screws it over his shoulder. Good mark by Melbourne.
Melbourne away again. Bad hand pass, a dangerous hand pass. Finally picked up and kicked forward then by Dickson. Scotty Clayton with the ball. Clayton's left foot kick in towards full forward. Could have been a mark then. The umpires come in and paid it. A Fitzroy mark down there. I think that could be Doug Barwick at the back.
Is.
And Doug Barwick copped a bit of punishment then. He's built along the same lines as Mickey Conlon.
He doesn't like to be referred to as that, Stephen.
I didn't say, I just said he was built along the same lines. Like the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth.
All right then. I believe I was talking to Doug the other night and he doesn't like to be...
Compared.
Compared, yeah. He thinks he's an individual in his own right. And
he certainly is.
Straight in front, probably 15 metres out. Shouldn't have any trouble posting Fitzroy's first goal of the afternoon. And has done so.
Well, it's taken 36 minutes to come. Doug Barwick. And that was a good mark, good solid mark. He stood his ground. The Melbourne players might have complained, but Barwick just stood there and the umpire did the right thing and the conversion was right on. Fitzroy moved to 1-1-7. They trail Melbourne by 40 points on the Pro Football scoreboard here at VFL Park.
Doug Barwick having a good season, being elected in the Victorian representative squad, playing at the half-forward flank. Bernie Quinlan at centre-half forward this quarter. And Craig McGrath at full forward for Fitzroy, looking for a little bit of system from the Lions.
Allday against Tilley back in the centre. It's a very good bounce then. Players had to wait a while for it to come down. Fitzroy back into attack. Quinlan goes for the tap on. Osborne in there. Picks it up. Full of running. He's running the wrong way. Round on his left foot. Screws it in. The umpire says too far. A bit harsh.
Unfortunate. Melbourne into attack. Onto Alan Jarrott at the half-forward flank. Left foot kick, looking for off hands.
Well, underneath John Fidge, he's kicked 3 goals already. He's pushed out of the way. Racing in there's Cooper. He's pushed off balance as he kicks it. And finally the ball's taken by Dean Turner.
He's off and running.
I've been impressed with Turner today so far. Been a reasonable player. Across to
John Blakey of Fitzroy. A long drop punt looking for Doug Barwick, who's under the ball.
Stephen Stretch, it is, who came out with the ball. It's back on the ground. Peter Moore bursts out. That's what the Melbourne fans love. Moore's kick will bring rain. Not that we need any more. An excellent mark taken down there, surely by Bill Locum. The umpire says play on. Here's a chance now for Wilson. He's in the front position. He's ahead of Pekin. He goes for the hand pass on. Jarrott taps it forward. Pekin gets the hand pass out to Locum. Locum goes wide, looking for and finding Dean Turner. Turner in the front position that time, and that's the place to be. He's passed down forward to McIver. Brett Lovett comes back. Looks for the pass. Stephen Newport with the ball. He'll go long. Ball off the side of the boot. Luck's a fortune. The mark isn't held. Chance for Ruse. Kicks it off the ground. Here's a chance for Fitzroy now. They're in the front position. Off the ground again. Ball didn't favour number 27, Jamie Cooper, that time. And Newport comes out with it. Back to Yates. Yates on the wing position, out wide. Melbourne mark here to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan slides along on his stomach. And coming in then is Graham Hinchin to calm things down.
Another pass onto. Mark taken by, it looks like, Tony Campbell. Ball's travelled about 10 metres. Forward looking for
Healy.
Greg Healy. Marks unattended.
He's not a bad kick, Healy. I would think if he's anything like his brother, he might investigate the possibilities of kicking a goal.
You'll have a shot, you mean?
Exactly.
All right, about 40 metres out, on the slightest of angles, as they say. Let's see the result. Drop punt.
Good looking kick. Just offline. One behind to Greg Healy. And waiting for Garry Pert now to put the ball back into play. Melbourne 7-6-48 on the Pro Football scoreboard. Fitzroy 1-1-7, 41 points the difference. Garry Pert will go straight down the ground. It's a beautiful looking torpedo. It's gone 65 metres and landed straight on the chest of Greg Healy. Healy, who forced that kick-off by kicking the last behind, goes short looking for Withers. Ducks his head a little. Finally comes out with the ball. Jarrott can't pick it up. Slippery the ball in the centre of the ground, and the umpire will come in and bounce. 10 minutes gone in the second quarter. The Pro Football match of the day here at VFL Park. A small crowd watching Melbourne put up one of their best performances for weeks. They've kicked 7-6-48 to Fitzroy 1-1-7.
Centre bounce taken by Melbourne. Kicked forward. Falls to ground. Tim Pekin dives on the ball. Tries to get a scrambler kick away.
Well, luck might be a bit of a fortune then, because John Fidge was right in the he was right on the ball down there.
Free kick to John Blakey, almost at centre half back position. Looking upfield for
anyone
Doug
he
Barwick.
can find.
Yeah, Doug Barwick jumps in front. Ball on the ground, rolling free. Umpire allowing the play to go on. Bodies everywhere, and a bounce will take place.
Two usually pretty skillful sides, Melbourne and Fitzroy. Their games
yes,
generally entertaining.
Yeah, free and open. Melbourne have taken advantage of that and posted 7 goals, and Fitzroy have posted their first only minutes earlier. A ball up almost at the centre of the ground, knocked by Paul Tilley, forward by Fitzroy, kicked off the ground by Doug Barwick into the wide open spaces. The ball with Nigel Cole, hotly tackled by his Fitzroy opponent.
Harris across to Osborne. Here's a chance now for Osborne. He'll have a good run and then centre the ball, looking for Doug Barwick. And Barwick has the chance to kick his second goal and Fitzroy's second at the 11.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Good piece of play then by Osborne.
Yeah, intelligent play.
Often likes to do a bit too much with the ball.
Often likes investigating the goals, as you say, Steve.
Exactly, but this time he's investigated Doug Barwick. And Doug Barwick has the chance now to kick the Lions' second goal.
Unselfish play then.
It was unselfish play, and this guy's a terrific kicker of football. Let's have a look at his drop punt. About 65 yards long, 1 point.
Drifted across the goal face.
He's got a lovely kicking style, Doug Barwick.
Very long penetrating kick. Excellent drop punt.
Waiting for Melbourne to put the ball out through Yates. The short pass is on, over to Stephen Stretch. Stretch's kick wide. Underneath then was Paul Payne, the ball over the boundary line. There's David Allday, who I've been quite impressed with. He's into the side, taking over the rucking duties and letting Peter Moore concentrate on defence. Half-forward flank members side of the ground. Allday in the front position. Big Bernie Quinlan goes over the top. Coming out with the ball is Dean Turner. Turner runs towards the boundary line. Could very well have stepped over the line. Great mark taken by Doug Barwick.
Excellent play. Dean Turner elected to centre the ball then under pressure, and Doug Barwick happened to be in the right position at the right time, and a good strong mark.
Good play by Dean Turner. He's playing well.
He is playing well. Usually a wingman has been our back pocket player for a number of weeks and doing well.
That's a better looking kick from Doug Barwick. That's the Lions' second. They move to 2-2-14 and they trail Melbourne by 34 points. The Demons 7 goals, 6-48 on the Pro Football scoreboard here at VFL Park. 13
minutes into the game, and Garry Pert wanders up from full back to take up what looks like a centre half forward position. Michael Reeves has come onto the ground and will be full back for Fitzroy on John Fidge. Garry Pert centre half forward, and Bernie Quinlan back to full forward, and Craig McGrath off.
Expert comments from Fitzroy's Laurie Serafini, who's joined the Pro Football staff today.
momentarily.
Momentarily, he'll be back in action next week. It's nice to be up here out of the cold. Well, it's not all that warm up here, we might add. Harris gets the ball, goes forward. O'Sullivan. Demons haven't scored a goal this quarter after a brilliant first quarter. Messy football. Harris, he's been a good player. Hand pass then from Turner onto Osborne. He'll have a run. He'll have a shot this time. Bernie Quinlan in the square, right in the top position. And Bernie Quinlan.
Good strong mark.
He's a matter of 2 metres out. One of Bernie's favourite distances, this.
Good play by Dean Turner onto Richard Osborne, and a good strong mark by Bernie Quinlan.
Quinlan playing game number 361, comes in for goal number 794 and makes absolutely no mistake. Fitzroy's third goal for the quarter. Lovely play by Leon Harris getting the ball out. Turner and
Osborne, I believe it was.
Osborne
onto Bernie Quinlan. Good strong mark by Bernie. Almost lost his head, but has converted. You're talking about Dean Turner a moment ago, Stephen. Looks lining up at half-forward flank at the moment, maybe even forward pocket. Yes, he is forward pocket, leaving it open for Bernie down there. And Fitzroy have kicked 3 goals now. Melbourne yet to register their goal, their first goal for the second quarter, bridging the gap. Only 4 goals of difference. 48 points Melbourne, 20 points Fitzroy.
Lions kicking with the aid of a slight breeze. It's probably a bit heavier out there, that the flags are fully extended. No sign of rain, touch wood. And a pretty interesting game, swinging back Fitzroy's way quite considerably in these opening 15 minutes of this second quarter. Scrambly football, the umpire will come in and bounce just outside that centre square, and you can see from the pieces of turf that have worked their way free that the ground is quite holding. They used the roller on there before. Tilly goes for the big one. Melbourne come out with the ball, they're into attack. Lyon gives his opponent a nudge, the umpire lets it go. Ruse, Grant Laurie comes through, gets a bit of attention from young Lyon. Tap back that time to Campbell. Campbell's caught with the ball, well tackled, and the umpire has said yes, there'll be a free kick to Bill Loken. Over to Scotty Clayton. Clayton's drop punt in towards centre half forward. Punched away by Barwick. Good football. White. Up towards the wing position.
Back to Grant Laurie.
He got a big shock then when the ball suddenly landed in his lap. Ruse caught with the ball. Free kick go to Garry Lyon. Pretty straightforward, that one.
Yes, and 15-yard penalty kicked away by a Fitzroy player. Brings Garry Lyon about 60 metres out from goal.
Could well have been another penalty. Garry Lyon will go for the long kick. It's a lovely looking drop punt, looking for John Fidge. He's got 2 opponents on him. And the umpire says yes, there'll be a free kick to John Fidge, who was nudged out. A technical one, but...
Yes, I think it was technical, Stephen. It was there, and unfortunately, the umpire on the scene and has elected to pay John Fidge a free kick right in front of goal.
John Fidge kicked 3 goals in that first quarter. On a player of the calibre of Gary Pert, he's now got Michael Reeves, who's no slouch either. The kick through the middle, Melbourne's 8th goal. They move to 8-6. 54, Fitzroy 3 goals to 20 on the Pro Football scoreboard here at VFL Park.
John Fidge would be pleased with that performance. I think he's just come back from injury. A strong player, so he's standing his ground, and the Fitzroy players there having to try and move him. And as we said, technical free kick. It was there, and he's converted.
This is only his 3rd game for the season, and he's a raw bone type of player. He's got a good leap, he's got good hands, and he gives them a bit of bite up forward.
Yeah.
Ball back in the centre, David Allday, Paul Tilly. Allday with a thumping knock. Fitzroy come out with the ball. Caught then, and the free kick will go to Yates. Dean Turner.
Yeah, landed in his lap and unfortunately couldn't get rid of it in time.
Graham Yates goes forward. Drop punt, finding Wilson. Can't quite pick it up, but he's got plenty of time to recover. All the time in the world. The pass is a good one too, and it's gone out there to Tony Campbell. Campbell swings the ball round. Cole can't pick it up. Oh, was it? Sorry, that was Greg Healy. Hinchin unloaded.
Onto Scott Clayton, over the top to Grant Laurie, who has support from Tim Pekin on the boundary line. Tim looks up forward looking for Doug Barwick and finds him. Play on calls the umpire. No, a free kick there.
Bit harsh.
Didn't quite pick that one, Stephen.
No. Stephen Stretch it is. Stretch will kick it into centre half forward. He's looking for Grinter. In fact, Fitzroy player there couldn't mark the ball at all. Went straight through to the keeper. Brian Wilson and John Fidge both pursuing Reeves. And Reeves does well to tap the ball over the boundary line.
The only thing he could really do there, by himself, with two Melbourne opponents right beside him, did well to take it over the line.
Had a lot of hamstring worries, Michael Reeves. It's good to see him without any strapping on his leg today. It's Healy kicks it out of bounds on the full. Dropped it awkwardly, and the umpire will pay the free kick. And Mickey Conlon appealing for it.
And we'll get it.
Yeah, it's handy when you're acting captain.
Extra statistic for Michael. Drop punt along the boundary line looking for Garry Pert. Punched clear by Peter Moore. Yes, and was nudged in the back slightly by Peter Moore, and Garry Pert will receive the free kick. On the members' side, elects to play on. Long torpedo punt towards centre half forward. Off the hands of the pack, falls into Tim Peakin's hands. Kicked forward, only to find a barrage of Melbourne players.
Well, Lovett's unloaded there. Ball comes out to White. Bit of the flash stuff. Some tough stuff too. And the umpire will throw it in. Half forward flank for Fitzroy in front of the members' stand. Very sparsely packed members' stand here today. Poor crowd here at VFL Park. In very chilly conditions. The rain's kept away, thank goodness. Coming up with the ball, Scotty Clayton. One bounce and over.
Yes.
And that's the way it's going to be. 50 metres out from goal. The Lions have kicked 3 goals this quarter. Melbourne 1.
Fitzroy slowly edging the ball forward towards their full forward position. It's probably on the back pocket side. Thrown in by the boundary umpire, Garry Pert doing battle. Peter Moore over the top. Punches clear. And the ball is taken over the line, and another ball in will result.
Very hard when you kick 7 goals to 0 in the first quarter to keep that momentum up.
Yes, and I think you're also talking about a wind advantage there. That should also be taken into account.
Well, Fitzroy have come back into this game. In fact, they trail by 34 points, 21 minutes into this second quarter. The umpire has come in, has a bit of a giggle, chat to the lads. Doesn't have to do too much of the hard work and comes out with the ball. The bounce down, David Allday, Garry Pert, Wilson. The ball just rushed over the boundary line.
Not much happening in the last 5 minutes or so. A lot of strong tackles, a lot of negative play, and a lot of boundary throw-ins. And here's another one.
Ball gets a bit heavier late in the quarter, a bit slipperier. Moore gets the tap down. Newport it is who swings it forward, and in the front position there is Paul Roos. Roos goes straight out into the centre of the ground. That's good football, and finds Graham Hinchin. Hinchin with a long left-handed hand pass over to
John Blakey Fitzroy, who sees the goals, has a long kick towards the goals.
Hits the post.
And a point. Good play by Fitzroy. I think the Lions, to get back into the game, have really got to, once they've got the ball, move it quickly. They did so that time and unfortunately hit the post. Kick in by Peter Moore.
An unusual sight. But the Melbourne acting captain today and dual Brownlow medalist has been playing in defence. He'll go for the torpedo. It's a whopping one too. He'll be more than happy with that and kick to kick. And standing his ground right underneath is one of the best defenders in this country, Paul Roos. Boy from Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Lovely pass too, and he finds Richard Osborne. Comes through with the arm up.
Protecting himself.
Naturally. And Richard Osborne, I don't know if he'll look for a pass on this occasion or he might kick for goal.
You might investigate the possibilities of a goal there, Stephen.
Well, I think he might put this one right through. Richard Osborne. High kick, a long kick, and straight through the middle. Fitzroy's fourth. They move to 4-3-27. They're halfway to Melbourne's score of 8-6-54. 23 and a half minutes gone in the second quarter. And you're watching the action courtesy of Pro Football.
The Lions bridging the gap slowly, as Stephen's just said, and I dare say would love an extra goal or two before the siren sounds.
Things just haven't quite gone their way today so far, but they're still in there with a chance. They're a very good side. sometimes you wonder whether the players realise that the final 5 is still right within their grasp. Mick Conlon comes out with the ball. He's pounced upon by 3 or 4 Melbourne players, and the umpire will come in and bounce. You can see how close it is to the centre circle. Brian Wilson hands the ball over.
That ball's pretty hot to get today. As soon as you lay your hands on it, you've got opponents coming from left, right and centre, and another ball up results.
Tilly and Allday coming in from the same side on this occasion. Tilly gets the tap down. It's Peter Moore who comes out with the ball. Does a figure 8. Demons back into attack. Half forward line, and a good chest mark taken there by Mark Withers. I think he got a bit of a knock to the side of the head there by Graham Hinchin, who was aiming at the ball. Ball into centre half forward. Garry Lyon in the front position. And a scramble develops there, and the umpire will bounce. Umpires today are Sidebottom and Carland. I think that one might be umpire Sidebottom.
Yes, it is.
The bounce there. Lyon comes in, misses the ball. Off the ground by Blakey. He can't quite get it. Lyon again. Oh, sorry, O'Sullivan chips it back to Alan Jarrott. Good close-up of Alan Jarrott by our cameraman then. And Alan Jarrott gets it right on the chest. He'll go high looking for John Fidge. Fidge behind, takes the grab. But the umpire says no, it was in the other hands first. And it will be Paul Roos. Hand passes straight away to Grant Laurie. Good piece of umpiring, that. Cooper long to the wing position. Michael Reeves out a long way now. Touches the ball to the ground. Dummies. Finally gets it over to Scott Clayton. A long hand pass over to Mork Harris. Mork with a hand pass on to Billy Loken. They're firing now, the Lions. They're going along looking for Bernie Quinlan in the back position. A good Melbourne mark taken on that occasion by number 19, Paul Payne. Melbourne away again out to the wing position, and there's a loose man out here. Withers. Too long with the ball. Goes for the short pass out wide. I think this might be Cole.
Has the run of the ball.
Gets back onto the left foot, then decides onto the right foot. John Fidge will go for the fly. The nudge is on. The umpire says play on. Here's the chance for Alan Jarrott. Runs in on his left foot, slams it through. Melbourne's 9th. Melbourne 9-6, 60. Fitzroy 4-3, 27. And the Demons steady in the last couple of minutes of the second quarter. And Alan Jarrott looking very, very happy with himself. And so he should, as he kicks his first goal and the Demons' 9th. Bit of a nudge on again there.
A lucky goal for Melbourne. I was just going to say, John Fidge nudged Michael Reeves in the back and allowed the ball to sail over their heads into Melbourne's lap, and a goal. Michael Reeves wandered over to umpire Sidebottom and asked the question, but unfortunately nothing can be done.
You can be a bit stiff. Michael Reeves has come on and been seen giving Fidge a push in the back, and it's cost a goal. And when it works the other way, it's gone against him and cost him another goal.
Yeah.
The Demons out of the centre. Withers pushed and shoved in the front position. Manhandled, can't mark the ball. Pert does it ever so nicely. Swings the ball in with a tumbling punt into centre half forward. McIver overruns the ball. More it is. Gets the long hand pass out to David Allday. Allday has time to hand pass it straight to Gary Pert. Wishes he hadn't. Moore with the ball. Gets rid of it very quickly. The Lions into attack through Harris. Over to Barwick. Can't hold it. Doug Barwick kicked a couple of goals this quarter. Out to Stevens stretch, and the Demons away again. Out to the wing position. 1 or 2 bounces and over the line. 27.5 minutes gone in the second quarter, and the Demons ahead by 33 points. Fitzroy, a very disappointing follow-up to their loss to Footscray last week, and I would think the ears would be ringing at half-time when David Parkin gets them in the rooms by themselves. Demons centre again, looking for Alan Jarrott, who kicked the last goal, and Jarrott, strong, steady and fairly reliable, gets it over to Healy.
Good running play by the Melbourne players. Up forward looking for Brian Wilson in front. Falls to ground, and I think a ball up will result. Yes. Brian Wilson not as evident this quarter as he was in the first quarter. He started the game very, very well.
Certainly sparked the Demons in that first quarter with some lovely short passing in front of goal. Ball tapped away towards Wilson again. Wilson comes out with it, centres it. Good football. Fidge in front. 2 chances for the Demons here. Neither of the guys can pick it up. The hand pass out to Roos. Roos has time to steady to Hinchin. The hand pass intercepted then by Healy. Healy swings it round. It's high. Won't be a mark. It'll be play on, and the ball pushed over the boundary line.
Pushed over the line by Michael Reeves, and a balling will result in the Melbourne forward pocket. 28 minutes into the second quarter.
Okay, let's have a look at the ruck play here. Come out Paul Tilley with the ball. Boots went in there, and Fitzroy come out with it.
Come out with
and a
Pekin.
good mark taken there by Withers.
Tried to chip it over the top of Withers, but unfortunately...
It was almost as if he was fielding in the gully. The ball's landed hot straight in his hands.
Yes, a good mark.
Well, he's 45 to 50 metres out. A chance to kick Melbourne's 10th. I don't like his chances. He's kicking into a breeze. It's a hard angle. Be a vital goal this for Melbourne. Withers comes in. Left footer. The kick off the side. And Paul Tilley takes the mark. It won't count on his stats. At half-time in Pro Football's Match of the Day, Melbourne 9 goals, 660, lead Fitzroy 4-3-27. I'm Stephen Phillips. Laurie Serafini and I will be back after a short break.
You want to be a real footballer? I've been a real footballer. You've got to look like a real footballer. You've got to go for the mark. The VFL mark. Go for the mark. Go for the mark.
Go for the VFL mark at leading stores. Real footy gear, real footy accessories, real footy supporters gear too, in all club colours and badges. Go for the VFL mark at leading stores.
Second half about to get underway here at VFL Park and Pro Football's Match of the Day. Umpire Sidebottom about to put the ball down. Melbourne kicking with the aid of a breeze, leading by 33 points Allday against Tilley. Tilley gets the tap down. The Lions back into attack, but it's Melbourne through Healy, who goes wide. Out there to Blakey. John Blakey on the left foot kicks it down towards centre half back, where the ball is safely marked by Peter Moore. Over to Sean White. White out wide, looking for Alan Jarrott. Things certainly cooled down here at VFL Park as Brian Wilson takes the mark. Wilson's short pass, intercepted, touched over the boundary line, and he'd be very annoyed with himself. He scratches his head and said, "What did I do that for?" Kicks hard enough to come by at the best of times without wasting them. Paul Tilley and David Allday. Allday perhaps the benefit there. Jarrott with a hand pass out to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's kick finds Grinter. Demons away through Lovett. Brett Lovett goes long looking for John Fidge. Fidge in the front position. It's Roos though who's backing up out on the left foot. Really asserted himself in the second quarter after a very quiet opening to the game in which Melbourne kicked 7 goals.
One change to the Fitzroy lineup already apparent. Garry Pert back to fullback and Michael Reeves on, and David Mitchell slips into the forward pocket for Fitzroy.
Healy it is, with a hand pass out to Newport. Newport from 50 metres goes goal, but it's a good-looking kick. It's a beautiful-looking kick. The umpire says it's a goal, and Stephen Newport kicks his second. Exactly the start Melbourne wanted and Fitzroy didn't. Melbourne moved to 10-6, 66. Fitzroy 4-3-27, a minute and a half into the third quarter here in Pro Football's Match of the Day.
I think this will be an all-important quarter for Fitzroy to try and peg Melbourne back, and conversely for Melbourne to assert themselves, and the first 15 minutes or so will be extra important, and Melbourne have got off to the right foot with a goal on the board already. David
Parkin always calls the third quarter the premiership quarter, and Fitzroy's premiership hopes could well and truly depend on this third quarter of football here at VFL Park in front of a very sparse crowd here in the 14th round, because they're still within only a matter of percentage of a place in the 5. They're equal 4th on points with Essendon, Footscray and North Melbourne, but they must win today. Cole, hand pass out to Newport, who kicked the last. His kick, centre half forward. Melbourne players there. Lyon has the ball kicked away from him by Paul Roos. Roos in the front position, uses his pace, overruns the ball. Lucks a fortune, back to Roos. He picks it up. He's got an acre and a half to run in. Over to Loken. Loken takes the mark, centre of the ground. He'll steady things. Doesn't look, kicks it straight over his shoulder. Paul Roos underneath it again. Alan Jarrett there comes out with it. The hand pass on to Yates. Yates with the pace. Drop punt, looking for Lyon in the front position. Bit of shepherding there. The free kick will go to Tim Pekin. Pekin with a hand pass to Loken. Loken wide to Roos, and Roos has really come back into the game now.
Centres it, looking for Paul Tilley, marks and plays on. Brought to ground, kicked off the ground by Scott Clayton. taken by Nigel Cole of Melbourne. Kick forward again into no man's land. Tim Pekin may be the first person there. Rod Grinter comes into it. A good knock on. Looking to Brian Wilson, who hovers over the ball. Tackled by Brian Wilson. Played on. Play on again. Finally, umpire says, I'll ball it up. Wilson tried to use his body there to gain control of the ball, but hotly pursued by Graham Hinchin of Fitzroy.
The umpire will bounce. You can see the 50-metre line there. And you can see also how sparse the crowd is out here at VFL Park on a cold winter's Saturday. And if you're watching it at home on Pro Video, you'll be in a far warmer situation, I'm sure. Blakey with a hand pass out. Scotty Clayton. Clayton with the left foot just manages to keep it in play. David Allday has a bit of trouble holding onto it. Jarrott had a number of handballs this quarter. It's Moore with a hand pass to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's kick high. And a good mark taken down there and plenty of attention. Scott McIver comes in a little late on the scene and there'll be a 15-metre penalty. The play has gone straight on. Melbourne has gold. See if we can pick that player up. Running back looked like Greg Healy.
It's a quick handball, wasn't it?
Yes, Greg Healy it was, who accepted the handball, and Melbourne has kicked their 11th goal.
The difference between the sides at the moment seems to be that Melbourne, when they do have the ball, are able to share it a lot more effectively than Fitzroy. When the Fitzroy players have the ball, they seem to be under pressure and have to quickly dispose of it, and consequently kicks are ragged and balls are on the ground. Melbourne playing far better.
Well, Laurie, that margin has opened up again to 45 points. Melbourne kicking 2 quick goals in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. Fitzroy again looking ragged. Loken kicks out wide. It's not a well-directed kick, intercepted by O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's kick is down forward. Lyon comes through. Allday can't pick it up. Untidy play there. It's Mick Conlon who picks up the spinning ball. He'll have a bounce, will he?
Yes, he's
will.
Clear.
He loves a bounce, Mick. Goes on the left foot, beats the seagull around there, and it's Dean Turner. Turner centres the ball. Stretch there. He's underneath it.
A packed fly for the ball there. Doug Barwick kicks off the ground. John Blakey kicks off the ground again towards Bernie Quinlan and out of bounds.
Old Super Boot is held together by plaster today. I think the ankles and the shoulders and a little bit of age all beginning to take its toll. A great footballer, and we've seen some terrific action from him even in this 1986 season. The Demons away through Healy, playing a lot better this week than last. He goes out wide, looks like Cole. The hand pass over to Lyon. Had the option then. He decides to go long. And a great mark taken in front. Couldn't quite hold on to it, Hinchin. He's pulled to the ground. He didn't have the ball.
Play on calls the umpire. Player's diving on it.
And
someone's almost lost his arm. Scott McIver had his arm almost kicked off and
that
a bit of pain.
Hurt.
Yes, that would have really hurt.
And
Graham Hinchin standing up for him, remonstrating with Rod Grinter as Scott McIver slowly gets himself up to take his kick.
Yeah, and these two back here, Hinchin and Grinter, having the odd word to say. Scotty Clayton it is with the ball.
Really has no one to kick it to. Back to Scott McIver, who's now up on his feet.
And looks a touch groggy. It was a hard knock.
Yeah, he may have even got a knock on the head.
The pass is a good-looking one too, and it finds Doug Barwick. Barwick sparked Fitzroy in the second quarter. He'll go long. He'll look for Quinlan.
Who's got
Looked as though he was out of position there, but in fact came in from the side. Here's the chance through Stephen's Stretch. Stretch goes wide. He's looking out here for Lovett. Lovett will steady things. Turns around, sees O'Sullivan all by himself out there. Slippery conditions. O'Sullivan on the left. Goes long. A nice mark by Wilson, or pulled in. It's a low kick looking for Fidge. Fidge pushes his opponent, Gary Pert, out of the way. Pert clears ever so nicely. And Jarrott comes through and punches. Makes the most out of a very difficult situation. Wilson's in there with the ball. He's grabbed. The umpire says play on. Allday goes in, taps the ball out. Melbourne into attack again through Lyon. It's a high kick. And John Fidge in the front position. He's held. He hasn't really got the ball. Healy comes out with it. He's held again. Hasn't got the ball. John Fidge lines up. Kicks it around over his shoulder. The umpire has come in and there will be a free kick. And it will go to Fitzroy's Paul Roos. Roos in the last line of defence. For the Lions, he's dropped punt. 50 metres.
looking for Paul Tilley.
Allday can't hold it, but Tilley comes out with the ball. And the boys come in and play stacks on the mill.
Paul Tilley always guaranteed to give of his best. A line-hearted effort against Allday of Melbourne today. Allday probably taking the points at this moment. Knocked forward by Paul Tilley into the arms of O'Sullivan of Melbourne. Alan Jarrott handball over his head to Nigel Cole of Melbourne. Ball falls free. Tim Pekin now has the ball in control and left foot along the boundary line towards Craig McGrath of Fitzroy. Over the top to a running Mick Conlon, having trouble picking it up.
Good piece of play there by Lovett over to Jarrott. The kick wasn't a particularly good one, but the Demons are away and running. Here comes Nigel Cole, lines them up from 40 metres out. The ball bounces through, one behind.
Didn't come off the foot as Nigel Cole would have liked, and swung every way and scrambled through for a point. Garry Pert looking for someone to deliver the ball to. A bad kick. Scott McIver bustled out of the way. Back to Scott McIver. Back to Graham Hinchin. A handball onto Billy Loken of Fitzroy. Steadies onto his right boot. A long drop punt again, looking for Craig McGrath. Over the top, Peter Moore on the ground. And I think we'll receive a free kick for in the back. Yes, he does. He plays on immediately. Drop punt forward, looking for no one in particular. Lands free.
Nigel Cole this time.
Cole now has the ball in control, trying to pick it up.
Well, that's a good, sensible tap. The hand pass is on this time to Stephen Stretch. He's 50 metres out. Could have run another 5. It's a lovely kick for goal. Good piece of shepherding down there in the goal square by Melbourne. They kicked their 12th. They moved to 12-7-79 and lead Fitzroy, a very, very disappointing Fitzroy, by 52 points. 10 minutes into this, the third quarter here in Pro Football's match of the day at VFL Park. Stephen Stretch settling, sending the ball on its way, and it's going straight through the middle, and a good piece of shepherding down there on that last line of defence. And the Melbourne forwards just applauding it through.
Stephen Stretch has come from the half-back line to kick that goal. Excellent piece of running.
Tilley gets the tap on. Fitzroy are away this time. They go wide. Stephen Stretch again after that long run. Hasn't had time to catch his breath, but I don't think he minds. It's amazing what a goal will do. He'll have plenty of time to think about that one. Yates comes out with it, slips at the vital moment. Mitchell gets the hand pass out. McGrath over to Laurie, back to Conlon. Here go the Lions.
He can run into goal. He can run into goal here. He'll have a shot and a goal.
Nicky Conlon
knows where the goals are.
And Conlon kicks his first. Fitzroy moved to 5-3-33. 11 and a half minutes into this third quarter. Melbourne 12-7-79.
Good effort by Michael Conlon. Yes, he'll have a drink of water just to get his breath back. And Fitzroy will need a couple more of Michael Conlon type runs to get them back into the game. Ball back in the centre.
Wait for the bounce. 46 points the difference. It's a very hard effort Fitzroy are faced with. Demons out again. Cole makes a mess of it. Follows up. Tries to kick it off the ground again. Withers in the front position. Gets the long hand pass over to Wilson. He's in trouble. Back this time to Newport. Newport goes in forward. Mark in front. Play on. The Demons go for goal. Lyon in the front position. And the ball will dribble over the line. Rush through for a behind. And Melbourne move on to 12-8. They're 80 points. Fitzroy 5-3-33. And another very dangerous situation averted.
Melbourne forwards going towards goal again and putting a lot of pressure on the Fitzroy players. Kicked out by Garry Pert, finds Doug Barwick, who fumbles and out of bounds. Well, I think that kick by Garry Pert to Doug Barwick and the resultant play probably typifies Fitzroy's fortunes today. Not very good.
No, they've been very, very disappointing, Fitzroy. They're lying just outside the 5 on percentage. But a loss today could very well put them out of contention for the year. The Lions away. It's Pekin. The hand pass back to the running Osborne. Osborne off balance at the last moment. Moore runs through. He's got the run. Where's the shepherding? All by himself. The shepherding wasn't done in the prescribed manner. And the free kick's been given away. Peter Moore, spear chucker, throws it straight into to Laurie. Laurie's pass. Fitzroy players spoil each other. David Parkin wouldn't like that one little bit. The pass into Bernie Quinlan's a beauty. Quinlan gets one in his ribs.
Yes, he
didn't like that either.
No, he didn't like that at all. Good play by... Sorry.
Bernie can have a bit of time off Sunday, Monday and Tuesday to get over that one.
If he kicks a goal.
Nothing wrong with that goal. Straight through the middle. That's Quinlan's second. Fitzroy, 6-3, 39. Coming back a little, Melbourne 12-8, 80.
I think what the Fitzroy players have got to do to try and peg the difference back is lots of running, as they did then, and that means backing up and accepting the handball. And a good kick by Tim Pekin, just a chip over the top to a good lead by Bernie Quinlan, and you saw the result, a goal by Fitzroy.
14.5 minutes gone. Pro Football's match of the day coming to you at VFL Park. Your commentators, Stephen Phillips and Laurie Serafini. Kicked out by Healy. Healy finds Lyon, who's played a good game today. He's kicking it up looking for Fidge. He's in the back position. It's Scott McIver, Brisbane boy, who puts the ball onto his left foot, goes wide. He's looking for Dean Turner. So Sullivan, who comes out with it. O'Sullivan just getting on top a little out there. Jarrott with a hand pass over to Wilson. Cleverly he gets around his opponent over to Healy, who's really come into the game in the last quarter and a half.
Clever play by Melbourne's Brian Wilson then. Steadied and found Healy.
It's Healy who's kicked up looking for Fidge. Fidge is held then. The umpire says play on. The tap forward by Withers. Underneath and waiting is Paul Roos. He's got an acre and a half. No one to kick it to, really. He'll look for Osborne. Osborne in front of Allday. Allday gets the ball to the ground. It's Cole who centres it. Healy underneath it. Oh, flying there for Fitzroy. But it's Hinchin who comes out. He kicks out wide looking for Dean Turner. Tapped out of the way by Yates. It'll be O'Sullivan. Good dogged play then by Turner to catch O'Sullivan. Wilson again. Bit of soccer style there. As Tilly finally kicks the ball straight into Healy. Healy slung round the neck. There'll be a free kick. Now Healy is almost directly in front. He's a matter of 45 to 50 metres out. You'll see the line any second. There it is, the 50-metre line. Greg Healy has kicked one goal.
Stephen, you're talking about Brian Wilson's soccer style. Then there's Brian on the camera. You can see that he's built very low to the ground, and we've got the World Cup on at the moment. It's interesting to see that Diego Maradona's taken the world by storm, and they're all built with a low centre of gravity, and I think it's the reason why Brian Wilson is so successful. Let's just have a look at this kick.
High, could have almost have been a mark there to John Fidge. Finally through for a behind. Greg Healy has 1-2 on the board. Melbourne 12-9-81, leading Fitzroy by 42 points. Diego Maradona is a sensation, isn't he?
Very good. I believe he's not very tall, but strong thighs and can manoeuvre so quickly. And I think they're similar with Brian Wilson.
And Peter Dacos, perhaps.
Yes, very much so.
Yes, it's Roos who gets the chip across to Osborne. Osborne gets around, courtesy of some shepherding by Mitchell. It's a one-on-one duel. Bernie Quinlan behind. Bernie Quinlan lines up. It's offline through for a behind.
A quick snap at goal by Bernie, and it was offline.
He'll be under the lamp for another 3 days, Bernie, this week. Waiting for the kick in. Out wide, looking for Wilson. Wilson it's Alan Jarrott. Jarrett stands his ground, goes over the boundary line. The umpire says there will be a Fitzroy free kick. It will go to Mickey Conlon because Alan, you didn't get rid of the ball, just ran it out. And Conlon's kick, it's a lovely one-handed mark to Lovett. Gets the ball away quickly over to Withers. Withers off like a flash, decides to have a bounce. Gets halfway up the ground. Wilson behind. This time it's Greg Healy in the front position. Good bit of shepherding by Melbourne. Healy swings the ball around. Is there anyone home?
Michael Reeves of Fitzroy. Good strong mark.
I walked into the ground with Michael Reeves today. You don't realise how solidly built he is.
He is very solid. Hasn't got a lot of body fat at all.
Well, that's a poor piece of play. And the mark is taken there by Graham Yates. A steady defender for Melbourne. Looks for someone to kick it to. Finds Nigel Cole, who's been left all by himself today. Stephen Stretch calling for the hand pass. Nigel Cole has mucked that up. Recovers well. The tap on. Back to Cole. The umpire says it's a free kick. Doug Barwick can't work out what's happened. He's holding Cole down. Should be a 15-metre penalty, that. And we see Osborne and Stephen Stretch having a
chat.
Yeah, I don't quite know what they're hoping to achieve. But Grinter has hold of Richard Osborne by the shorts. Nigel Cole, centre wing position, lucky to get out of that mess.
15-metre penalty will bring Doug Barwick back on the mark, and Nigel Cole a little bit closer.
Well, Nigel Cole is between the wing and half-forward flank. He goes straight in there. He's looking for Fidge, who's a high flyer at the best of times. Ball on the ground again to Withers. Gets round one. He won't get round two. Fidge in there. Short pass. It's a good one too. And the mark is taken by Adrian Battiston, who's come onto the ground. And Batto's about 25 metres out. His first kick for the day could well be Melbourne's 13th goal. Good piece of play by Fidge, who's kicked for himself. Unselfish. Saw the short pass was on and flicked it over to Adrian Battiston.
And luck's a fortune, Adrian Battiston unmarked and can convert for Melbourne's 13th goal.
The kick looks good. The goal umpire doesn't move. Melbourne 13-9-87 on the Pro Football scoreboard. Fitzroy 6-4-40.
As much as I'd like to see Fitzroy get out of this, at the moment, no way, I think.
It was a good piece of play by Fidge. He saw the short pass was on. I think Battiston had come onto the ground and his Fitzroy opponent had...
maybe hadn't picked him up.
Exactly, and It was a very costly little error. Ball back in the centre of the ground, it looks like, with umpire Carland. Tilly against Allday. Both boys have rucked right through the match.
Allday.
Exactly, and it was Tilly. Fitzroy into attack. The hand pass is on, over to Cole, back to Stretch. He's flattened. Ball out wide, and the chest mark is on. A fairly easy chest mark too. Hand pass from Healy over to the running Withers. Very fast. The good bump there from Grinter. Withers into the goal square, over the top. Ball bouncing towards the boundary line. Battiston in there. The ball over the line for a throw-in in the forward pocket. There have been some very vigorous and very hard pieces of shepherding in this game so far, Laurie.
I would dare say that David Parkin has said to the players, if you're not going to do anything else, at least go in and tackle hard. And I guess it's also a measure of their frustration.
Well, you've got to make them earn the points, not give them away like they have so far. Battiston taps on. He looks for Healy. Will the bounce favour him? He lines up, looks for the pass over the top of Newport. In fact, Mick Conlon comes through. He'll steady. He'll send the ball around towards the half-forward flank. And who's at home? Michael O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan got right on top in the last quarter or so, over to Yates. Melbourne doing things very much as they please up forward. Peter Moore saying steady down, don't waste the kick. In fact, he did waste it. Off the side of the boot. Melbourne with a chance through. Battiston, has he put it through for his second? Looks like it. Goal number 14 for Melbourne. They're running away with it.
An excellent snap at goal, and Adrian Battiston is very happy.
2 goals in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes to Adrian Battiston. And on the Pro Football scoreboard, the Demons 93 lead Fitzroy by 53 points at the 22-minute mark of this, the third quarter. And what an upset this match is turning into.
David Parkin by now would be calling for some more Valium pills, I dare say.
I wouldn't be saying too much, because when he sits back and watches this tape and listens to your comments, he might think that perhaps you should do with a little bit of warming up this week on the track.
I'm looking forward to playing.
OK, the ball out of the centre to Barwick. Barwick, a long kick. He's looking for Quinlan or Osborne. It's a great mark to Osborne. The hand pass is on. Osborne's copped one high. Normally, I would think he might have got that pass across to Bernie, who was all by himself. But he's had a quick look over the shoulder and decided that the distance won't be a problem.
He's within kicking range.
He certainly is. You can see the 50-metre line there, but he has gone back an extraordinary distance. I think it'll be closer to 40 metres out. Richard Osborne kicked 1 goal already. It's a high floating kick. Could have just floated offline for a behind. Disappointing game by Fitzroy today. We'd expected a lot from them. Talks of mergers in the wind. Talks of financial problems. And, of course, last week's very poor loss to Fitzroy. And the final still within reach. And they're getting a hiding from Melbourne, who are right down there on the second bottom on the ladder. Peter Moore with a drop punt out towards the wing looking for Wilson. Wilson goes up one-handed and backwards. The free kick will go the other way. It will go to Paul Roos. The umpire comes in. The brawl's on. And a big haymaker thrown there by one particular player. There's the action there.
And that all started by a strong tackle by Michael Reeves on Brian Wilson. And Brian Wilson was quickly on his feet to remonstrate. And we saw the repercussions of all that.
And they're still going here, Michael Reeves and Garry Lyon that time. The hand pass was on then to Roos, but the umpire has decided to settle things down. Very lucky one young fellow didn't have his number taken in that little altercation. The Lions off again. Lovely looking kick. Peter Moore goes for the punch. He's done that most of the day. Healy tries to get it. Players slipping over left, right and centre. Conlon with a good hand pass to McIver. Beautiful play back to Conlon. Lovely football, Lions. Looking for Osborne, up with one hand. It's Barwick. He's caught with the ball. The hand pass is a beauty, but it's intercepted. The Demons out of trouble again. White goes for the big fly from behind, but it's McIver on the left foot, centres it to Scotty Clayton. Clayton lines up. He's too far out to score. Payne behind takes the mark. Payne plays on, sees Stephen Stretch by himself in the back pocket. Stretch settles things down, no one to kick it to. Looking for Grinter. Grinter will cop something here if he's not careful. Headlock. The umpire pulls back young Blakey. Hinchin behind, can't take the mark. He'd be disappointed with that one. Lyon swings it around, another drop mark. Wilson comes out with it. Johnny Fidge, ball overrun. Bounces towards the behinds. Garry Pert with an acre in front of him. All the time in the world is steady, but no one to kick it to. He'll kick it out wide, looking for the boundary line. And very smooth, very professional play by the Fitzroy and Victorian fullback at the 25-minute mark of the third quarter.
Not a lot he could really do there. He was looking for Dean Turner, and Dean Turner was covered by two Melbourne players. The best thing was to put it over the line. Scott Clayton left to do the ruck work. Knocked on by Dean Turner towards Scott Clayton. He's under pressure and out of bounds, and another ball in will result.
David Allday there in your picture, who's rucked tirelessly up against Michael Reeves. Came onto the ground, I think, in the second quarter as an interchange player, down to Dean Turner. Turner had a tough tussle this quarter with O'Sullivan. Punched away by Peter Moore. Picked up by McIver again.
He steadies and handballs to Doug Barwick, who in turn handballs to Bill Loken, who looks for goal. Should bounce for Richard Osborne, who will quickly have to kick and has scored a goal.
Richard Osborne's second, Fitzroy's seventh. They move to 7-5-47, trailing Melbourne 14-9-93. The margin on the Pro Football scoreboard is 46 points. And we've been playing 26.5 minutes into this third quarter here at the VFL Park. Crowd of about 10 to 12,000, I would think, no more. Seeing the Lions in all sorts of trouble.
Still waving their flags and hoping for the team to come back, certainly in the last quarter, and bridge this gap.
The disappointing thing about it is that the Lions have some very tough games ahead of them. They've got Fitzroy, they've got Collingwood, and they've got Hawthorn in the weeks ahead. Melbourne should really have been a victory if they were going to be a final five side. The mark taken in front by Withers, front of Hinchin on that occasion. I think Graham Hinchin could do with a couple more games under his belt. John Fidge in the front position punches away, and the ball will go over the boundary line.
Graham Hinchin's first game after 7 or 8 weeks of injury, and it's always tough. I'm sure he's feeling the pinch a bit now with his fitness lacking, but always gives of his best.
Michael Reeves doing the rucking down there on the back line. He's up against Garry Lyon. Lyon gets the tap down to Newport. It was a good knock too. Newport can't get the ball onto his boot. Pushed out by Reeves, caught by Harris. Could have been dropping the ball. The umpire says play on. Here's the chance for the Lions to go forward. Long hand pass to Scotty Clayton. Clayton back to Mickey Conlon. Conlon one bounce. He could be caught. Gets the boot onto the ball. And the umpire says Bernie Quinlan was being held. It's against you, Paul Payne. And Bernie is a matter of 40 metres out. He's directly in front. a chance to kick his third.
The value of playing in front. Bernie well in front, stood his ground, and resultant free kick.
There's the kick by Bernie Quinlan, straight through the middle. That's his third goal. Fitzroy moved to 8 goals 5, 53. They trail Melbourne by 40 points, and they've kicked 4 goals for the quarter. Melbourne have kicked 5. See the tape on Bernie Quinlan's right shoulder, courtesy of the match against Collingwood a fortnight ago. And if you could take off those socks, I think you'd see fairly heavily strapped ankles too.
Yes, he's suffering from Achilles trouble at the moment, and gee, Bernie at his best. Possibly in the last quarter. We'll wait and see.
By that stage, he should have warmed up.
He'll be well warmed up by then.
Allday in the middle against Tilly. Tilly gets the knock. Been a good battle in the ruck by these two youngsters. Turner out to Harris, across to Reeves, back to McIver. McIver back to Mickey Conlon. Mickey misses the ball. What have you done, Mickey? Hand pass from Dickson. Over to O'Sullivan. Back to Peter Moore. Peter Moore will look long. Looking for Batto. Adrian Battiston can't get the ball, but he grabs his opponent. The umpire says play on. The ball to Paul Roos. Been a great player in the last 2 quarters. Gets the long hand pass over to Turner. Jarrott. Willow all by himself. Brian Wilson lines up, sees the pass. Fidge, the hand pass to David Allday, back to Fidge. Fidge has got all the time in the world to look for a pass and finds Stephen Newport, who's kicked 2 goals, 25 to 30 metres out straight in front. Messy football, but it paid off in the end when John Fidge steadied and got the ball across to Stephen Newport. Been a very vital player today, Fidge, with his short passing, his 4 goals.
I think you've summed it up nicely, Stephen. The Melbourne players there were running left, right and centre, but a bit of calmness on John Fidge's part to get it across to his teammate. Has seen them score their 15th goal for the afternoon.
Melbourne 15 goals, 99. Fitzroy 8 goals 5, 53 at the 30-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Siren due to go any second. Good play then. Newport making position well to kick his 3rd goal. John Fidge setting it up. He's kicked 4 already. And those 2 players doing what the Fitzroy forwards can't do.
Melbourne's sharing of the ball today has been impressive, and I'm sure contributes to their good score on the scoreboard.
Allday beaten that time by Tilly. Kicked high by Jarrott. Tap down Battiston. Blakey. Battiston though with his eye on the ball, closer to the ground. Mick Conlon intercepts well, gets it over to Scott Clayton. Good piece of work by Scott Clayton to get his hands on the ball. Over to McGrath. McGrath 1.5 million miles out from goal. He's decided to have a shot. He's a good 65 to 70 metres out against the wind. It's a lovely looking kick, but unfortunately it's going to fall short by 20 metres. At 3/4 time on the Pro Football scoreboard, the Demons 15 goals 9, 99. Fitzroy 8, 5, 53. And the lads just having a quiet chat before they go in for the Oranges. We didn't quite get as far as the Oranges, and the brawl's on. The umpire's right in the middle of it. Nearly every player is involved.
Someone has upset Michael Reeves, and as you said earlier, Stephen, he's well built, and Wilson and Michael Reeves having a bit of a chat.
And Graham Hinchin in there too, having his say. Umpire Sidebottom not impressed. The runners coming in to sort things out.
Dragging Rod Grinter away. I dare say a bit of verbal fisticuffs there for a while has angered the players. Fitzroy players would be on edge. They've come out to VFL Park hoping to do well, and they're finding themselves in a struggling position.
Well, they'll take a drink now, and we'll take a break, and we'll be back with the last quarter of Pro Football's Match of the Day in just a moment. Final quarter just about to get underway. After a very heated exchange at 3/4 time. And Fitzroy go into this final quarter trailing by 46 points as David Allday comes in to contest the ruck with Michael Reeves. Reeves gets the tap down to Conlon. They need quick goals, Fitzroy, if there to be any chance. They've had a look at the three-quarter time scoreboard and have seen that there's a place in the 5 waiting for them. Quinlan can't take the mark. Melbourne clear. Conlon underneath it again, and Mickey Conlon takes the mark. Been an inspiring leader today, Mickey. Goes for the short pass, goes wide. It's a lovely pass, and it's taken by McGrath. This is Craig McGrath. He's 40 metres out.
Within kicking distance. Has tried all day and been in front, but Peter Moore punched the ball away on a number of occasions.
His 6th senior game, going for the 6th goal of his career. That's a good-looking one too, and that's the way the Lions wanted to start. They moved to 9-5-59. They're trailing Melbourne by 40 points. And the stats show Melbourne having 171 kicks up to date. Fitzroy 146. And there's the young man there, standing alongside Peter Moore.
Craig's 3rd season with Fitzroy, coming up from the under-19s. And as you said, Stephen, his 6th senior game, and has done well. Tried hard all day, but like most of the Fitzroy players, has found kicks hard to come by.
It's a completely revitalised Melbourne side compared to the side that got thrashed by St Kilda last week. St Kilda in the middle of a winning streak last week, their first win after 12 straight losses.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, St Kilda would have been euphoric last week, and Melbourne would have been in the depths of despair, and Melbourne have bounced back to what you would have thought would have been a Fitzroy victory. The shoe's definitely on the other foot.
Ball back in the centre with umpire side bottom. He'll come in and put it down. We've been playing 1:40 in this final quarter here at VFL Park. Allday gets the tap down, and Melbourne come out with the ball through Wilson. The umpire says play on, and changed his mind again. Mitchell gives the ball back to Brian Wilson, former Brownlow medalist. He'll kick long, or will he? He'll go wide. Finds Stephen Newport, who's kicked 3 goals. Newport looking for Fidge. Lovely pass too.
Yes.
Picked John Fidge out perfectly. And now John Fidge has the chance to kick his 5th goal. I think Fidge has been the key player to Melbourne today. He's kicked 4 goals and passed superbly, done some intelligent tap-ons, and now has the chance to kick 5 goals. He's a matter of 40 metres out. Very deliberate as he lines up. Good looking kick. The Melbourne players are happy. 5 goals to John Fidge. Melbourne move into 3 figures. They're 16-9, 105. Fitzroy 9-5, 59. And there's the man.
Good afternoon's work for John, coming back from injury, and he's battled hard all day, has done well, and if he hasn't taken the marks, the ball has fallen to ground and been sharked effectively by the littler players of Melbourne, and the scores on the board.
And to kick the goals on a player of the calibre of Garry Pert is no mean feat. Of course, if he had been playing on Laurie Serafini, he might have found things a bit tougher. Mark taken there by Blakey. Ruse, been a good player after quarter time. Long kick on the left foot. Bustling through there is Reeves. Mitchell, he's caught with the ball. Manages to get rid of it. Harris. His hand pass is intercepted. The Demons go away again through O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan kicks the ball high. Underneath is Blakey. A good mark. And Rodney Grinter had a little bit of a swing there. At the ball, of course. Push in the back. That's the way the umpire sees it. The free kick going to McGrath. Peter Moore having a bit of trouble finding the form that won him those 2 Brownlow medals. But he's going to lead a winning side today. Mickey Conlon out wide. Thinks he can kick it, or he goes for the pass. Easy mark taken there by Graham Yates. Been a very solid defender for the Demons today. The hand pass is on, out to Greg Healy. Healy looking for another hand pass. That's Dickson. Dickson long. Interference there. The umpire says play on. Hinchin pushed out of the way by Battiston. The umpire says play on. Over to Garry Lyon. Hold on. Hold on.
Free kick to Graham Hinchin, as you called it, Stephen.
It had to be, really, but I think there was a bit of confusion there. Graham Hinchin's hand pass straight on to John Blakey and back again to Graham Hinchin. No one knows what's happening, but we do know that Melbourne are 16-9, 105, and Fitzroy are 9-5, 59, as Graham Hinchin puts the ball up towards the centre wing position. Ball tapped down, out by Leon Harris. Harris looking for Osborne. Osborne with a high fly, takes the mark, had the sit, and he's kicked a couple of goals. I think he likes that sort of stuff, don't you?
Yes, he had the sit then, and a lovely mark, and will be looking to convert at this stage.
He's going for his third goal of the afternoon. The attendance here, 10,049. Very, very disappointing indeed. Richard Osborne, will it fall short? Tapped through.
A goal.
A goal.
It was over the line.
And that makes Fitzroy 10 goals 5, 65. Melbourne 16-9, 105. And that ball just sneaking through. Peter Moore getting his fist to it just a moment or two late. Main goal kickers for the Lions, Bernie Quinlan and Richard Osborne share the honours with 3 apiece. Doug Barwood kicked 2 in the second quarter. Michael Conlon and Craig McGrath 1 each. For Melbourne, John Fidge 5, Stephen Newport 3, and Adrian Battiston 2, plus a number of players with 1 each. Allday to Wilson. That ploy seemed to have worked a couple of times. Wilson out wide. Lovely one-handed pick-up. But unfortunately, the man going for the ball didn't really come out best. Dale Dickson, Dale Dickson, it was. Blakey, he's caught with the ball, gets the hand pass to Hinchin. He's tackled and hit at the same time. Scott Clayton, hand pass intercepted. The Demons with a chance here. It's Allday in there too. He's shepherding, being held. The umpire will bounce. On the bottom is Greg Healy.
Lots of pressure on the players there to get rid of the ball, and a scrimmage is developed, and the umpire will ball the ball up on the wing, members' side of the ground.
Down it goes. Allday with a good tap. Intercepted then by Harris. Couldn't quite keep hold of it. Got back and grabbed the ball again. Allday through. Uses his weight. Scott Clayton straight onto the boot. It's the only way to do it. Holding the man. Free kick against Peter Moore. Certainly not getting the run from the umpire that he'd like. McGrath doing quite well on the veteran. Bernie Quinlan from behind. Goes up with one hand. It's Sean White who takes the mark.
Bounced off his chest. He's taken it on the second grab. Looks to Peter Moore and marks.
3 pirouettes.
Yes. Can't decide where to go.
He'll go long. He'll be looking for Grinter or perhaps Healy. It's Greg Healy. Picked him out. Pinpoint accuracy. And Greg Healy right on the centre wing on the VFL logo. Into the centre of the ground. Newport. O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan has a run. He's nice and quick. Goes long towards goal. It'll bounce through. 1 point.
Melbourne's sharing of the ball then, Stephen, brought the ball from the wing onto the half-forward line, and I think that's been the difference in the play. The Melbourne players have been running past and calling for the ball, whereas Fitzroy haven't been able to get that part of their game going this afternoon.
Wobbly old kick, but it still went the best part of 50 metres. It's Garry Lyon with the ball. He hand passes out to Cole. Cole with the hand pass back to Dickson. Dickson will steady, look for the pass to John Fidge. Fidge, strong hands, good lead, and now he has the chance to kick goal number 6. Gary Pert is just wondering why the ball isn't being stemmed a little further downfield.
Quite right. Makes it very hard for a full back, no matter how good you are, to stop those sort of passes when they're coming from upfields so easily. John Fidge moves in to shoot for goal. Number 6, as Stephen said.
Offline through for a behind, and he has kicked 5 goals too. John Fidge of Melbourne, 16-11, 107, and they lead Fitzroy by 42 points as Gary Pert just wonders where on earth he'll kick it. I'd say straight down the middle, favouring maybe this members stand, looking for Roos. Great mark to Paul Roos.
Excellent mark.
The camera angle didn't quite show how high he went up. The pass back to Hinchin and to Blakey. Blakey breaks away, uses his pace, goes for the hand pass. The chain of hand passes from Clayton over to Pekin. Pekin will go wide looking for Quinlan. All over the top of Bernie. That time Lovett goes through, but it's Payne who comes out. Done a good job on Bernie Quinlan today. Over to Alan Jarrott. Jarrott with a pass to Dickson. The Demons are away again and firing if he can pick it up. Dickson runs in, he has the chance, looks for the pass, lines up the goals. puts them through. Melbourne 17 goals 11, 113. Fitzroy 10-5, 65. The Demons running away with this one. 10 minutes into the final quarter on Pro Football's match of the day, and there's Dale Dickson kicking his first, and the Demons 17th. They lead by, 48 points.
Dale Dickson gets all the kudos for that goal, but it really started from Melbourne's back line, brought forward, and a good piece of play by the Melbourne players, running from the back line through to the forward line, and a resultant goal.
They've had no trouble picking up the loose man on this big ground, and if you can do it at VFL Park, it makes life so much easier.
Yes, they've done well, Melbourne.
That was McIver over to Conlon, had a lot of possessions today, looking for Peter Moore, and the big fella takes the mark.
I think he's been played at centre-half back to get him into the play a bit more, and it's done well today.
Pass out wide to Allday, overruns the ball. Here's a chance for Dickson again coming through. Kicked the last goal on the run. He's come out with it again, full of confidence. Is that surely holding the man? The umpire says no.
Had a look at it and decided, no, I can't give you a free kick, but I will ball it up and you can have another chance.
Umpire side bottom coming in to bounce the ball. Allday, the bearded ruckman, gets the tap, falls all over the top of Michael Reeves. But
both players get up and don't know what's happening.
The umpire tapped his knee, his ankle, his hip, his shoulder. So something obviously happened. And there's the mark there taken by Greg Healy. He's off. The umpire says, hold on. There'll be a free kick for interference, and it will be taken by Fitzroy. Paul Roos. Dreadful mistake, but he was held when he didn't have the ball, the umpire says, and the free kick will go to Roos. Long hand pass over to Pert. Pert with a booming torpedo straight down the ground, and a good mark taken down there by Graham Yates, who I've been most impressed with today. Hand pass over to Stephen Stretch. Stretch has a bounce, no pressure on him at the moment. Some good shepherding to Newport. Back to Stretch. Stretch around the corner, finds Battiston.
Intelligent kick and good shooting of the ball again. Battiston looking upfield for Brian Wilson on his knees, couldn't take the ball.
It looked flash, and Willow's just having a few words with his mate Leon Harris. Ball punched down. O'Sullivan comes out with it, hasn't got the ball, but the umpire can't see that, and he will bounce. Some scrappy passages of play today, but some very entertaining football. And if you're a Melbourne fan, these wins have been few and far between this season.
They'll be happy.
I should think so too, and they've got every right to be. They played very well today, Melbourne. To come in as the underdogs, tapped down by Allday to Conlon, been one of Fitzroy's better players. Into Yates. Yates traps the ball well. Jarrott over to Sean White. White looking for Wilson. Wilson in the front position on this occasion holds the ball.
Delightful pass by Sean White. Steadied, looked upfield and put it out in front of Brian Wilson, and Wilson did the rest. 50 metres out, elects to go for a pass. Not a good one, taken by Paul Roos. Kicks upfield, wing position. Ball falls to ground, taken by Jarrott onto Stretch. Long hand pass to Brian Wilson. Back to Stretch, over to Allday, who's in all sorts of trouble. Ball falls to ground. Well backed up by Allday. Taken by Adrian Battiston of Melbourne. Taken by Jamie Cooper, who handball forward. Allday again on his hands and knees. Well played.
I'm impressed with Allday's persistence.
Yes, did very well.
And there's the mark to Grinter, is it?
Yeps.
Grinter plays on straight away. There are Melbourne players everywhere. It's a raffle. It's Greg Healy with the ball. Healy has kicked 1 goal, 2. He's probably 45 metres out from goal. As you can see, when we go wider, he's directly in front. There's the 50-metre line. The kick towards goal. It's going to be a goal to Melbourne, is it? Or just touched on the line by Paul Roos. 1 goal, 3 to Greg Healy. Melbourne 17-12, 114. Fitzroy 10-5, 65. Paul Roos will now look for someone. They bunched in the centre. The breakaway's on. Garry Pert all by himself.
Marks.
And the pass is on to Scott Clayton.
Scott Clayton looking up forward for Scott McIver on his left foot. If he can pick the ball up, having trouble doing so, and the ball is out of bounds. I think in the latter stages of the final quarter, as we are, Fitzroy can throw caution to the wind and once they've marked the ball, should really look forward to playing on immediately and putting the Melbourne players under pressure. Ball falls to ground, picked up by Dean Turner. A quick kick gathered by Melbourne around the boundary line, bounces just inside into Mick Conlon, and he's off and running. Long drop punt forward, intercepted by Peter Moore. Has the ball well under control. A left foot pass finds Nigel Cole. He's off and running. A handball over the top to Garry Lyon, and a long kick forward. Mark taken by
Dale Dickson.
And again, good sharing of the ball by Melbourne.
And plenty of players to kick the ball to all the time up forward, Melbourne. Fitzroy have looked very, very disorganised.
Always second to the ball, and that happens from time to time. It's no excuse, but all credit to Melbourne.
Dale Dickson comes in, he's kicked one. Long kick towards goal. Great mark on the goal square then by Gary Pert.
Excellent, over the top, right on the last line of defence. He plays on quickly, looking wide for David Mitchell, who dives at the ball and just misses it, and the ball rolls over the line.
That was a great attempt then by David Mitchell to dive.
Really
a great mark down there also to Gary Pert.
Wasn't it?
One of the best marks in league football. One of the most always spectacular. Ball on the ground, real rugby league stuff this. The umpire will come in and bounce again. Within the 50-metre circle, or semicircle, Melbourne 17-12, 114. Fitzroy 10-5, 65. 16 and a half minutes gone in this, the final quarter of pro football's match of the day. And the Demons have it well and truly sewn up there. 8 goals ahead with about 10 minutes to play. Allday gets the punch down to Battiston. Battiston tries to keep it in play. Pushed to the ground and over the boundary line on the full. The umpire will pay the free kick. It will go to Fitzroy and would be taken by Leon Harris. Mork just steadying down and looking for someone to kick it to. Familiar kicking style. Chance now for Fitzroy to break clear again.
Gathered by David Mitchell. Lovely left foot pass up to Richard Osborne. Under pressure and knocked over the line by Sean White, who's played a creditable game there in the last line of defence for Melbourne.
Fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish. Holding his head, but he's
probably
played
where
well.
His ear was.
No comment, Stephen.
Okay, it's kicked forward then by Turner and marked down there by Yates. Been a great player in defence today, Graham Yates. Over to Stephen Stretch. Those two seem to have a good understanding. Stretch looking for someone to kick it to. He goes out wide to Withers. Hard to understand that. Withers giving away some inches then with Pekin. Pekin dives on the ball. He's got the ball. The umpire having a good close look and says he will bounce. Centre wing position, outer side of the ground. And Fitzroy trailing by 49 points. And things getting bitterly cold out here, Laurie.
Only 15 minutes or so to go, Stephen. Hang in there. Ball knocked to ground, taken by Mick Conlon. Left foot kick towards centre forward. Paul Roos off hands. A quick hand pass by Bernie Quinlan. Taken by Melbourne and cleared towards Graham Yates. Stephen remarked has played quite well today. Good pass to, I think that might be Michael O'Sullivan. David Mitchell holding up play.
And giving away a 15-metre penalty.
Professional penalty there, allowing the Fitzroy defenders to get back on their men. A long drop punt.
Man in front,
yes.
And that'll be Michael Reeves. Gets rid of the ball straight away then to Paul Tilley. Tilley over to Pert. Pert with a very long hand pass to Mick Conlon. Gets rid of it. It was a hot potato, that one. Scott McIver can't quite work out what to do. Handball back to Mickey Conlon. Conlon with good play gets it out again. Back to McIver. They got out of that well, the Lions. It's happened on too few occasions. Over to Bernie Quinlan. A great piece of play, a great passage of play. David Allday down then.
Good system.
It was too, and that's the way we're used to Fitzroy playing.
Yes, for better or worse, the Lions haven't been able to show that sort of system for long this afternoon, but that was good handball and a good lead by Bernie Quinlan and an excellent pass.
Quinlan's kick looks straight through the middle to me. Fitzroy's 11th, 11-5, 71. They're still trailing Melbourne by some 43 points. Bernie Quinlan has now kicked his 4th goal.
Creditable performance by Bernie, Stephen.
Well, the ball hasn't been delivered to him that often or that well. And just having a look at his all-time statistics, he's now kicked 797 goals. He's kicked 34 for the season, and this is his 361st match. Well, a lot of people would like to swap places with that
sort of record.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
the champion.
Allday, ball down. Reeves kicks it high. Peter Moore in there wrestling McGrath. Comes out to Lovett on the left foot, goes out wide towards the boundary line. Withers is out there. He'll get the ball. Swings it around. He'll be looking for Garry Lyon, who's in the front position. Good mark then by Garry Lyon in front of Michael Reeves, who holds on till the death. The short pass looking for Alan Jarrott. Jarrott flattened.
Paul Tilley, always a tough customer, and Alan Jarrott felt that blow, I think.
I think he might have.
Very slowly.
And he's off. The short pass is on. Poor checking by the Fitzroy defences. Dale Dickson races into goal. There's no one at home down there, which is poor play by Melbourne. And the Lions clear effortlessly through Pert. Pert into Conlon. Had a lot of kicks, Conlon, over to Scotty Clayton, who likewise has had many possessions today. Peter Moore punches the ball to the ground. It's Dickson who comes out. Has his collar rearranged. Gets the free kick.
I think you'll see Paul Roos actually playing at centre forward for the last couple of minutes of this game.
Here's Melbourne away through Battiston. The hand pass is on. Wilson lines him up. Healy in the square, hits him on the head. Cole overruns it. Massive players there, a tangle. Ball finally out. Here's a chance for the Demons. Lyon kicks it straight up in the air. Will he mark his own kick? Ball tapped down, be a throw in forward pocket, outer side of the ground. 21 and a half minutes gone here at VFL Park. The Demons well and truly in control. They lead by 43 points, and they will take the 4 points at the end of the game. Tap over the back. Dickson's there. He'll look for the hand pass. They should turn the lights on so we can all see. It's Jarrott. Gets the pass into Grinter. Grinter sidesteps there, gets the pass across to Withers. Withers looks for and finds a teammate, but puts him under all sorts of problem. Kicked up in the air by O'Sullivan. Demons making a bit of a mess of this as the Lions put pressure on. Tunnel ball. The umpire will bounce. Very messy play down there, but only a few minutes to go, and the fellas can go in and have a hot shower and think about what's been.
One good thing about playing out at Waverley, Stephen, very good hot showers, and on a day like today, you're most welcome.
I think we'll all go down and have one. Allday gets the ball away to Hinchin. Hinchin across to Turner. Turner away, looking for Osborne, finding him. Osborne centre wing, no one to kick the ball to. You'll have to go straight across the ground. Zigzag football, which, as we know, rarely pays off here at VFL Park. Pert comes streaming down the ground from the key defence role. The Demons do it well through Stephen's stretch. No one to kick it to. Yates out wide. Lovely mark taken out there. Good play by Healy.
Always been constructive, the Melbourne players going up forward. They've had time to steady and look for their teammates. Gathered by Michael Conlon. Out to Jamie Cooper by himself on the wing. A long hand pass looking for Gary Pert. Gets it on the first bounce. Steadies. Looks upfield. Looking for Bernie Quinlan, but well intercepted by Paul Payne. He's played a good game on Bernie.
An educational game for him today.
Yes.
Quinlan's kicked 4 goals and Payne's learnt a lot.
Yeah, Payne has done well, and yet Bernie's got 4 goals. Best summed up by your comments, Stephen.
Peter Moore kicks it along, looking for Lyon. Has the ball tapped away from him by Reeves. It's Battiston, who came on fresh and kicked a couple of goals in the third quarter. He's looking for Wilson. Wilson can't quite grab it, but he comes out with it. That's the main thing. Steadies. He looks for Withers. Will the bounce favour him? He traps it well. Swings around. He was being held. The umpire says play on. Here's a chance for Dickson. Streams into goal. Kicks it low. Was it touched? Wait for the umpire. Good play by Scotty Clayton. Long fingers.
Yes, desperate lunge.
Wait now as John Blakey, who's gone down there to full back.
Back to Scott Clayton. Bit of sharing there.
Good for the stats. And Scotty Clayton kicks it out towards the flank. McIver just gets contact. Almost made contact with Brian Wilson's ear hole.
Warmed him up a little bit.
And the bells would be ringing in there. And we'll wait now for the tap. Tilley over the line for a throw-in. Dying stages of this game here at VFL Park. been a pretty one-sided affair from the opening when Melbourne kicked 7 goals, 5 to 1 point in the first quarter, and that's the way it's been just about all day. As we go into time on, Battiston comes out with the ball, and a good mark taken there by Michael Reeves. Looked for the hand pass and found it over to John Blakey. Blakey with another long hand pass. This is a better looking play from Fitzroy as they stream forward. They were looking for Bernie Quinlan. Quinlan can't quite get it on the full, but Payne comes out with a good play by Paul Payne. He'll be out there looking for Alan Jarrott, who, if he gets it inside the boundary, will have a paddock to play in. Over to Stephen Stretch. Melbourne, the loose man, coming up. Pass on to Garry Lyon.
And again, they're able to find teammates at random.
Oh, they're doing it ever so easily. Lyon with a massive torpedo looking for Johnny Fidge. Fidge can't quite get it. Pulled in by Grinter. Held in play by Newport. Lyon's out of trouble again. Gary Pert running at about a 10th pace.
Nowhere to go. Long kick forward, looking for some players to get it. Only player to get there is Melbourne player
Brett Lovett.
And he sees that over the line. And another ball in. Member side of the ground, almost at the wing position. Allday to do battle with Paul Tilley of Fitzroy.
I think the fact that Allday has rucked unchanged throughout the match, I think he's been a clear winner in the ruck stakes today. And it's been an impressive display by this pupil of Peter Crackers Keenan. I should think he'd do well to understand Crackers' comments. Tapped then by Tilley. Hand pass then by Jarrott over to Lovett. Lovett kicks it high. Brian Wilson will be the flyer. He's in the front position. However, it's Jamie Cooper who gets the ball to boot. Here's a chance for Fitzroy. A couple of them running in there. It's Turner. They run into each other. Hand pass from Hinchin, intercepted by O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, natural left footer, gets it away nicely to Dickson, who's coming to his own in the last quarter and a bit. Gets around one player, gets the hand pass on. The Demons away through Cole on the left foot. Cole up high. The kick not a good one. Tim Pekin intercepts. Back to Scotty Clayton. Clayton kicks it wide. Who'll get it here? Oh, Mickey Conlon almost had his nose interfered with then.
Took it on the chin, kept running.
Second bounce. Have another one, Mick. He's run and kicked the ball nearly the length of the ground. And who does he find? Big Peter Moore. Peter Moore, quite a solid performance at centre half back today, allowing David Allday to do the ruck work. Over to Sean White, who'll have a bounce. Windmill action. Good piece of play by White. Finally gets it back to David Allday, the man we were talking about. And Allday's pass down here finds a teammate in Adrian Battiston. Batto's off like a shot, relishing the opportunity to play in a winning side. Here he comes again. Battiston in the front position this time. Swings around, does it easily too, and kicks in high looking for Wilson. Two Fitzroy players. Wilson well and truly accounted for then. Bit of vigour. Tim Pekin,
Richard Osborne.
Naturally.
Taken by Tim Pekin.
And Pekin's pass finds down there. Can't quite pick that player up.
David Mitchell it was.
Over to Dean Turner. Turner's kick into the square. It's all Melbourne, and the mark is taken down there by Paul Payne. He's had plenty of the ball today, Paul Payne, as the siren sounds to end the match. Melbourne run out victorious there, 17-13, 115. Too good for Fitzroy today. 11-5, 71. The Demons by 44 points, and a very, very disappointing loss to Fitzroy. This is Stephen Phillips on behalf of Laurie Serafini. Hope you'll join us again on Pro Football for our match of the day.